Hello, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Eugene, Oregon, and to Sheldon High School as the Roseburg Indians are on the radio on CBS Sports Radio 1490 The Score. We're looking forward to another Southwest Conference contest tonight as the Roseburg Indians take on the Sheldon Irish. We'll have that matchup coming up for you here in just a few moments as we get things underway with the pregame show. We'll have plenty to discuss coming up as this will be the Southwest Conference finale for the Roseburg Indians and in 2018. We'll talk more about it as we break for the national anthem here from Sheldon High School. It's Roseburg Indian football on CBS Sports Radio 1490 The Score.
You are watching live broadcast coverage of Roseburg football on 541radio.com. This game is proudly sponsored by
Roseburg Disposal, Tim's Appliance, Cooper's Pest Control, Umpqua Dairy, Fisher's Hearth and Home, Cascade Community Credit Union, Douglas County Farmers Co-op, Supercut, Good Vibrations, and also Chuck Swarman Family Auto Repair.
At Brook Communications, our job is to get results for your business, period. We can take your story and tell it to the people you want to reach in a way that compels first-time clients to become repeat customers. We get them through your door so you can do what you were meant to do. Proclaim your sales message to the largest audience of any media company in Douglas County. Brook Communications dominates through the power of 5 radio stations and 541radio.com. Results amplified. Locally owned. Brook Communications.
Back here with more of our pregame on CBS Sports Radio 1490 The Score, and streaming with video online at 541radio.com. It's time now here in the pregame show to get a chance to catch up with head coach Dave Heiberger. It's our Tim's Appliance pregame coaches interview. And Coach, hey, coming off of a nice win last week, it felt like, looking back on the season, one of the more complete games that your team has played this season. Looking back on it, what were some of the highlights for you guys as you took away from that one, trying to build some positive momentum here to the final 2 weeks?
How the kids responded after that first touchdown by North Medford. They showed some confidence in themselves to come back out and not hang their heads, and that's something we needed to establish within our program, so it was good to see that happen.
The defense had a great job. I mean, you guys had a tall test in taking on Eli Spence and the blocking there on that run game. And for you guys, that wasn't an easy task, but you guys excel extremely well in stopping the run there. Was it something that you guys, I'm sure, had to put an emphasis on, but you feel like something specifically worked really well for you guys last week?
I don't know. I think part of it, when our offense rushes the ball 50 times for 350 yards, we kind of flipped the script on North Medford a little bit. Colin was 8 for 9. You know, and those 8 for 9 are pretty important. It keeps them from loading the box against us. And so those are some pretty key, being able to spread a team out and throw the ball and run for that many yardage to go along with our defense. They played with a chip on their shoulder. You know, I think North Medford maybe forgot in their transition that that's a rivalry game going back. You know, that as a coach at Roseburg, I hear about all the time that's a big one for our kids and our community when they play North Medford.
Yeah, and I think I saw the quote in the newspaper this week that you said that was almost a must-win, about as much as you guys could, as you try to close the gap on other teams. Last year, a 3-point game, closing the gap basically put you in the win column against North Medford. How'd the guys kind of deal with that afterwards, being able to, you know, respond to winning but still staying focused, knowing that you got a tall task today in Sheldon?
Showed up Monday. You've heard me talk about it for almost 3 years now. They showed up wanting to get better. You know, obviously they had a little pep in their step that kind of helped it out, and you know, had their chins up a little bit higher, but they came back ready to get better. They look for it. We talk about challenges, and obviously this is a big challenge, and we are not a program that makes excuses. We embrace challenges, and this is a big challenge, and I think our kids will embrace that challenge and, you know, hopefully close the gap on Sheldon.
When you guys get ready for a team like Sheldon, obviously you see names like Herbert and Johnson and things like that. But for you guys, business as usual as you guys prepare for a team that's got a lot of star power on the other side?
Yeah, it's a Southwest Conference. You know, all of them have some guys. You know, one of the things we try to talk about is it's a faceless opponent. We want to play the best football we can. I don't care if we're playing, you know, Sisters of the Poor. Our goal is to play good football, as good a football as we can on that Friday night.
watching the tape, what are some of the things that they do well that you guys hope to try and take away from them here tonight to try and get a victory?
Well, obviously that quarterback pretty well. I'd say obviously the defense is for Sheldon is very disciplined, and they play great special teams. And so, area where we're lacking a little bit of depth right now, so that has me concerned quite a bit. And obviously that quarterback getting loose and running, we're going to try to slow him down a little bit. But what's slowing that kid down to one person, another person might look a little bit different. He can scoot.
We get ready for it as maybe we can actually hear each other here now down on the field. Coach Heiberger, thanks so much for the time here in the pregame.
Yep.
All right, that is our pregame coaches interview brought to you by Tim's Appliance at the corner of Lane and South Stevens in Roseburg. 0% finance always available. Roseburg gets ready to take on Sheldon tonight. We'll have more of the pregame show after this break here on CBS Sports Radio 1490 The Score.
You are watching live broadcast 541radio.com. This game is proudly sponsored by
Abby's Legendary Pizza, Tribal Leaders Flyaway Travel, I-5, Mahalo Heating and Air Conditioning, and Pepsi Bigfoot Beverages of Roseburg.
live sports broadcast schedule updated each week at 541radio.com.
Swimming season is finally here. But remember, water. Don't swim and don't go in the water if it's under 60 degrees. Swimming in water under 60 degrees is life-threatening. It could cause hypothermia, limbs paralyzed, and you can't get out of the water. Each day, the water temperature of the Umpqua River will be posted on kpic.com and kval.com. And in the morning weather, respect the water. Know the temperature. Brought to you by the Respect the Water Safety Committee.
Life there. Well, we welcome you back here for more of our pregame show as we get ready to go. All for you tonight here on CBS Sports Radio, 1490 The Score, and streaming with video online at 541radio.com. We welcome you all to have a very quick opening segment as we had the national anthem played right away as we were going on the air here. Didn't want to be rude and be talking through the national anthem, so we take the quick break, get a chance to catch up with head coach Dave Heiberger there with our Tim's Appliance pregame coaches interview, again at the corner of Lane and South Stevens in Roseburg. 0% finance at Tim's Appliance. Well, now we get to look at this matchup a little bit more in depth here as the number 28 Roseburg Indians take on the number 3 Sheldon Irish. Roseburg to the year 1-2 in Southwest Conference play, coming off of a 42-14 win over North Medford last week. On the other side, Sheldon at 5-2 overall and 2-0 in Southwest Conference play. They are off of a win as well. They won 45-20 at South Medford last week, back after a 4-point loss against Jesuit the week before. So these two teams come in a little bit different place. Roseburg, of course, a program trying to get to a premier level. And for the Sheldon Irish, they are a program that has been at elite level for quite some time. They are looking to continue that under second Josh Line, who took over at the program last year. Now in his second year, looking to lead this program deep into the postseason. 1 year ago, Sheldon made it into the upset there by Central Catholic. They'll look to try and make another run back into the quarterfinals or deeper, which they have done throughout much of the last decade plus. In fact, Sheldon right now a 19-season streak of making it into the playoffs, and most of those resulted in runs to the quarterfinals or deeper, and it includes 4 state titles in 2012, 2009, 07, and 02. That's where Sheldon's been. Roseburg trying to get back to that kind of level. And the Roseburg Indians tonight, we continue. Heiberger talk about closing the gap. Tonight will be an interesting test for this Roseburg team to see if they truly are getting closer to the teams at the top of the South. Sheldon expected to be one of the top teams, not only in the conference, but in the state. And we welcome into the program here tonight Josh Nelson joining always. And Josh, tonight's matchup, a big one for this Roseburg team. No one probably thinking that they will have much of a shot in this one, but last week we saw them come out and surprise us in a big win against North Medford. It was a game we thought they made to win last week, but they won big by 28 points, 42, and I think that was an unexpected result for a lot of people watching that game last week.
Yeah, that was completely unexpected, even on my part. I did not expect to see come out and put up those kinds of numbers last week at all. It was very impressive. The we're talking about closing the gap, and Roseburg has done that to every Southwest Conference opponent this year. The last one up is Sheldon. Can they close the gap? And I don't think that it will necessarily be a bad thing if close the gap against Sheldon. This is a special Sheldon team. You do have Herbert that's going to Oregon. You have Johnson, who is going to Penn State next year. So this is a very, very good, possibly state championship Sheldon team. Although they've lost to the number 2 or number 1 spot in this league or in the state of Oregon, they still have that opportunity, and they only lost by 4 points, as you said. So I don't think that you can judge even tonight if something happens and Roseburg you can't judge Roseburg on tonight's game as a whole. You can judge them on the Southwest Conference altogether, and they're closing the gap in the Southwest Conference.
This matchup was lopsided for sure. 34-0, the final score between Roseburg and Sheldon. 5 interceptions in the first. Sheldon put up 34 points. Second half, much more competitive. You got to imagine up 34-0. Maybe Sheldon feeling a little bit comfortable in the second half, but Roseburg shut the second half last year, and then but was unable to put any points on the boards themselves. But definitely played a lot tighter in that matchup in the second half. So expecting to see a fun one here tonight as Roseburg and Sheldon get ready to meet. We're going to go ahead and take our final break as we wrap up the pregame show when we come keys to the game, and we will take a look at where we get ready to go with the starting lineups tonight. It's Roseburg football in Eugene. Sheldon Irish coming up for you next when we return after this 2-minute break on CBS Sports Radio 1490 The Score.
This is football online at 541radio.com. Thanks for tuning in to this week's game. Here's a look at what's coming up for the Roseburg Indians. Find the live sports broadcast schedule updated each week at 541radio.com.
It's easy who participated in high school sports and activities.
Right on time.
They learned important lessons like leadership, teamwork, respect.
Hey, our meeting moved to 10.
We'll be ready.
Values that last a lifetime.
We need to focus on 3 factors.
Support high school sports and activities in your community. When kids take part, they get set for life.
You are watching live broadcast coverage of Roseburg football on 541radio.com. This game is proudly sponsored by
Roseburg Disposal, Tim's Appliance, Cooper's Pest Control, Umpqua Dairy, Fisher's Hearth and Home, Cascade Community Credit Union, Douglas County Farmers Co-op, Supercut, Good Vibrations, and also Chuck Swarman Family Auto Repair.
At Brook Communications, our job is to get results for your business, period. We can take your story and tell it to the people you want to reach in a way that compels first-time clients to become repeat customers. We get them through your door so you can do what you were meant to do. Proclaim your sales message to the largest audience of any media company in Douglas County. Brook Communications dominates through the power of 5 radio stations and 541radio.com. Results amplified. Locally owned. Brook Communications.
And we welcome you back here to Sheldon High School as we get ready to go for tonight's action between the Indians and the Irish. Joey Kieran, Josh Nelson here with you tonight as we continue our season of Roseburg football here on 1490 The Score. Roseburg has won the toss and has elected to receive. The offense will start on the field for the Indians here tonight. Josh, as we get ready for kickoff between the Indians and the Irish, what are some of the keys to tonight's game as you see it?
So the keys to tonight's game, there's going to be a few. There's only 2, I think, tonight. And the first one's going to be control the time of possession. Roseburg has done that all but 2 of their games this year. They need to slow the game down and don't give the ball to Sheldon's offense. Sheldon's offense gets Johnson Jr., who has 67 rushes for 698 yards, an average of 10.42 yards per rush. His longest one was 93 yards. And then he can pass the ball around. 38 completions on 73 attempts for 792 yards. You've got to keep the ball out of the Sheldon's offensive hands. The last thing, defensively, don't give up the explosion plays to Sheldon. Keep everything in front of you and limit the yards after the catch.
All right, that is a look at the keys to tonight's game. Roseburg getting ready to receive, wearing their white tops, the black trousers, numbers in black outlined in orange on the front and the back. Sheldon in all of their emerald green, numbers in black on the back and outlined in white. Sheldon will be kicking right to left. Irish will boot it away. Roseburg will have the football to start here in tonight's contest as they bring it out to the 5. Leading Roseburg's offense as we take a look at your Supercut starting lineups in the Steelhead Run Plaza across from Starbucks on Garden Valley Boulevard. Save time and check out styles online, cuts.com. Colin Warmouth, the senior, 6'3", 175 pounds, will lead the offense out there. He comes into tonight's matchup 3 yards away from last year. He sets up in shotgun, has a back to either side of him. Zach Mandera of a 174-yard performance last week will line up to his left. He's got Gage Hill to his right, taking his time to call out the play. The shotgun snap to Warmouth. He'll hand it off, no keeper on. Weave through the defense to the sideline. He's got near the first down marker and plenty more as he gets out to the 35-yard line. At the 20, he'll get to the 35, and Colin Warmouth a pickup of 15.
Very smart play to get down and slide and protect himself. He didn't need to pick up any. He could have stepped out of bounds and slid, and he did exactly that.
First down of the game for Roseburg. Up along that front line, Thomas Ruth, C.J. Gale, Riley Culberhouse, Hunter Hilliard, your starting offensive front for the Roseburg Indians as we continue through your Supercut starting lineup. We'll get you the rest in a moment. The first down play goes to Mandera to the 41-yard line. Zach Mandera in the backfield as he picks up 6 on the carry. Gage Hill mentioned him. Doran Gillespie out for a second week. The junior running back who had been the leading runner. Mandera took over in the backfield for the last 2 games. We'll also see Ethan Stoner some. Rounding out your Supercut starting lineups for Roseburg on the offensive side, D'Angelo Adams, Carson Ellis, Eddie Hershkovitz, and Peyton Bryant, your wide receiver targets. Second down and 4 after a 6-yard pickup for Mandera on first down. He's to the left, pass out to the far side. It's caught by Bryant, has the first down. He's across midfield and into Sheldon territory. Ball came out at the end. Sheldon jumps on it, but the whistles will blow the ball out to the 42-yard line on Sheldon's half of the field. And Josh, you cannot ask for a much better start here for the Roseburg Indians on offense.
No, in Roseburg right now, they cannot turn the ball over on this opening drive no matter what they do. Opening up the run with Warmouth handing off or keeping the ball and then giving it to Mandera opened up that pass.
First down and 10 from the 42, the yard marker on the far side saying second down. They need to correct that. Hopefully that doesn't come back to haunt us. Low snap. Warmouth running right side. He'll get hit high and then crunched on the ground. He was already down at a defender jump on his back. They'll mark him down. Second down and along 11 as he goes backwards to the 43.
And right there, that was the right call. It's an option play there to Mandera. Blitzing the inside linebackers right up the middle. It's a right call to keep that ball and go outside. There's just nothing there for him to pick up.
Second and 11 for Roseburg. Making that late hit for Sheldon up the front along the front line. Madden Salisbury, Austin Lasby, Patrick Herbert expected all to be up there for this 4-3 defense for the Irish. Give it to Mandera. He buries his shoulder into the Roseburg defensive front, or the Sheldon defensive front. And he will only line a scrimmage. Not much there to the 43 for Roseburg. And now it'll be third down and about 11.
They are stacking the box against Sheldon is. They are bringing a lot of pressure up that middle right now. But on top of it, the safety is cheating over to the 2 receivers on the far side of the field, double cover them, which is going to leave this receiver over here on man-to-man coverage.
That's Carson Ellis on the near side. Out to the far side, Zymet and Adams. Third down and long for Roseburg. Could be 4-down territory. They've got about 11 yards to pick up. Rolling to his left, Mandera in to protect. They go on a short. Drilled hard was Peyton Bryant. He does hang on to the football, but he took a hit, and he is slow to get up. Picks up about 2 yards.
That's really unfortunate because Peyton Bryant just came back last week, and it's a great catch. He did a great job holding on to the ball, but very well covered. It looked like they had man-to-man coverage over here against Ellison. one of the linebackers actually pulled off, so he was double teamed, and they had a couple other. Devontae Adams was double teamed as well.
D'Angelo Adams, we made a drive to start. It stalls in Sheldon territory, and the punt will set up the Irish their first possession of the ball game. 8:23 to go here in the first quarter, and they'll send out the offense led by Michael Johnson Jr. starting at their own 19-yard line. Taking a look at the lineup for the Sheldon offense, mentioned Michael Johnson Jr., the senior, headed to Penn State next year, comes in on the season, 792 yards passing, 10 interceptions. He sets up in shotgun, moves a man in motion, fakes the handoff on the end around, gives it to the running back, out of the backfield, down the sideline, and into Roseburg. Burgess makes a cut back to the middle of the field, and he'll get taken down from behind by Garrett Zymet. But it's Matthew Burgess who will make a huge run downfield, and he gets himself in to Roseburg territory. Burgess on the first play from the line of scrimmage comes up big, came into tonight with 608 rushing, 12 touchdowns, averaging 7.3 yards per carry. He gets to the Roseburg 22. That is a 9-yard run for Burgess on that carry. First down and 10 now from the Roseburg 22-yard line. Johnson Jr. in the backfield, Burgess protecting. Johnson's going to carry it himself. He'll stretch it to the sideline, got a stiff arm and was taken down from behind. I didn't even see the defender coming to get him. Right near the first down marker. Looks like they'll mark him out at the 19. Johnson Jr. is a running dual threat quarterback on the season, 698-yard touchdowns for him as well.
It looks like it was Ethan Stoner that took him down, and he's in some pain right now. He's bending over, trying to catch his breath on that, or just got the air knocked out of him.
I said to the 19. He actually gets to the 14. We'll make it a pickup of 8 on that carry there for Johnson Jr. Second down and short for Sheldon, trying to get on the board first here after the big run by Matthew Burgess to start out the series. Give it to him again, running right side, has 5, 270, 295, 255, 320, a big front line for this Roseburg offense, or excuse me, for this Sheldon offense.
And right now, Roseburg's going with that same defensive formation that they had last week with the 5 down front.
It was a pickup of 8 on that carry by Burgess. Sets up first and goal from the 6. Burgess to the right of Johnson in shotgun. Johnson, the keeper, shimmy shake. He'll dive forward. He only gets about a yard, maybe back to the line of scrimmage, actually. They'll put him at no gain on the first down carry. Getting goal for the Irish. In the getting the rest of their starters offensively, as they have run the ball on every down so far. Out at the wide receiver targets, Brandon Klinko, Jack Folsom. Zach Folsom will also be out there. And, of course, Patrick Herbert, the young Justin Herbert, the quarterback for the Oregon Ducks.
And Thomas Ruth got that stop right there. Sheldon wasn't fooling Roseburg at all on that last play.
Again, that 5-man front. It's second down and goal from the 6 for the Irish. Move a man in motion, comes in to help block. Burgess running left side. Mandera gets him at the 5, about the 3. It'll be third down and goal, as they actually give him the spot, down to the 3-yard line on Burgess's carry. A pickup of 3, be third down and goal.
And Mandera wasn't going to let him go.
They'll quick side and in. Michael Johnson Jr. They run a quick offensive play, and the quarterback keeper is a TD run from 3 yards out.
Right there, that touchdown was all set up by an explosion play, and that's what Roseburg has to limit those explosion plays, make Sheldon play a long possession type of game.
The Irish will score first after Roseburg marched into Sheldon territory and could not finish up. Sheldon, one play puts them into the red zone, and they are able to cash in. PAT will be Jay Kartub. He is 26 for 20 extra points this season. He lines it up, the right-footed kicker. Placement down, his kick is away. Plenty behind it. 7-0 your score. Sheldon here in the first quarter. 6:16 to go. We'll be back after a 30-second break on 1490 The Score.
You are watching live broadcast Roseburg football on 541radio.com. This game is proudly sponsored by
Abby's Legendary Pizza, Travel Leaders Flyaway Travel, I-5 RV, Mahalo Heating and Air Conditioning, and Pepsi Bigfoot Beverages of Roseburg.
Find the live sports broadcast schedule updated each week at 541radio.com.
Back here in Eugene as the Roseburg Indians taking on the Sheldon Irish. 7-0. Sheldon in front of Roseburg. 6:16 to go. Short drive there, I should say, for the Irish. They did cover 81 yards, 59 of it coming on a run by Matthew Burgess. Michael Johnson Jr. zone. The kick is away. It's D'Angelo Adams that'll return it from the 5. Running right side, he gets taken down just around the 20, out to about the 21. We'll have the football there. Their second possession here in the first quarter.
And that was really well covered by Sheldon right there to be able to stop him on the 20, because every time Adams has returned the ball this year, he has not been stopped on the 20.
I was curious to see Adams out there. I don't know if that means that maybe Peyton Bryant. Oh, nope, there he is. He's in the huddle. He does return to the game after taking a hard hit last time out there on the offensive side. Spread out to the near side is Isaiah Moore. Twins to the far side of the field for Roseburg. Tight end is to the right of the formation. They'll hand it off in the back. Almost got free, tripped up by an ankle. He'll dive forward out to the 24, but he almost had that one for a big break.
Yeah, right there. You could just see that hole open up. It was huge. And if he just would have been able to get by that, whoever put their hand or foot out that tripped him up, he probably down.
Second down and about 7 to go for Roseburg. Ball at the 24. Need to get it out to the 31. Roseburg breaks the huddle, tied in to the left. Bryant and Ellis out there. Yes, tied in to the left. That is correct. Ellis is the part of the far side of the field. Adams goes in motion. Give it to him on the end around, trying to find a seam. He'll angle his way towards the sideline, gets across the 25. Should set up a third down and manageable for Roseburg here as they try to keep this drive.
And right now, Sheldon is scared of what Adams can do. They've obviously watched tape on what Adams can do because they are double teaming Adams. Anytime the single receiver on this side of the field, they're bringing somebody else over to help double team him.
Picks up 3. He's going to make it third down 4. Moore will spread out to the near side. Single coverage for him there. In the right of the formation, Garrett Zimet, the sophomore. Roseburg with 2 backs in the backfield. Fake the handoff. Pressure coming. Hit as he throws, and it's almost hit. Warmouth was the object of the defensive end coming in, and he got blindsided. One off. Last year, Colin Warmouth threw 5 interceptions in the first half. He almost had one there. It would have been his first since week 2.
Yeah, that was just one of those mistakes. He's throwing the ball right as necessarily a mistake, and it just was not going to go to anybody that he wanted it to go to.
They'll set up for a punt here on 4th and 4. Warmouth deep to kick it away. Averaging 30 yards per punt. Decent snap. He'll get a kick as that pressure was coming quick. Ball bounces at the 5. Roseburg bounce, and that might have hit off a Sheldon player. Had a guy blocking, but wisely jumping on it. The return man will hop on top of it. Zach Folsom that will recover the football. Sheldon will have it out near midfield for their second possession, leading 7-0 with 4:23 to go in the first quarter.
And right there, I'm going to show you the young inexperience of Zimet right there, because Zimet was there, but he didn't act like he realized that it touched him. He could sit there and try to get the ball back. He was just still trying to block him.
Sheldon starts at their own 43-yard line. Johnson looks a quick pass. It's Herbert on the near side. Has blockers. He'll head downfield across the 50 and into Roseburg territory. He'll move it down to about the 47, half of the field.
And this year we've been able to witness Justin Herbert, who is Oregon, and then we got to watch
Patrick
Herbert, and then we got to watch Musgraves, who is committed to Oregon State. So it's going to be interesting to see how they compare to each other.
Musgrave, of course, from Bend, who we saw earlier in the year. 7-yard pickup on that play. Johnson, a lot of time to go way downfield. Caught to the end zone. Touchdown, Sheldon. It's Herbert on the strike. And make it a 2-score game. 13-0 Sheldon in front.
And right there, that's just unfortunate there. So sitting there, he read the play, he saw the play, but instead of trying to knock it away, he was trying to make the interception, and he just missed, allowing the receiver, who would be wide open, to catch the ball and get that touchdown.
That was a 47-yard touchdown pass from Johnson to Herbert, making it 2-0. Herbert and Johnson connecting on every play and accounting for every yard on that drive. And the PAT is good. And with 3:35 to go in the first quarter, Sheldon out to a 13-making lead on top of Roseburg. Let's take a quick 30-second break here on 1490 The Score.
This is Roseburg Football Online at 541radio.com. Thanks for tuning in to this week's game. Here's a look at what's coming up for the Roseburg Indians. Find the live sports broadcast schedule updated each week at 541radio.com.
Well, that was 57 yards total on that drive. Took just 2 plays, both of them passes to Pat. And Sheldon now leads 14-0. They'll kick it away again. Roseburg will return it from the 1. Adams up the middle. And he gets hit hard and set back. It's a kick coverage team coming up in middle. Lane Shields making the stop as Adams goes down, and Roseburg will have the football outside of their own 20-yard line. Now Roseburg has got to find some offensive momentum, but head coach Dave Heiberger mentioning how good this a lot of notice, that's for sure. But this defense for Sheldon is quick and all over that so far. Handoff in the backfield. And running with it, Mandera will get to the 25 before he is wrangled down. They'll put him to the 20, skip of 3 on first down for Zach Mandera.
And right there, Sheldon's just coming right through the gaps, and they are being very, very physical. 3 or 4 guys that are sitting there on top of Mandera, bringing him down.
Sheldon has the 4-man front. They've got the Variackers. Ben Melhoff, Pierce Ewing, Patrick Wiles, and Matthew Burgess. Quick pass out to Adams. He fakes inside, goes back to the pickup, a couple of yards on the second down completion. And it'll make it quickly. We go to third down, and Roseburg has about 4 yards to try and convert.
So right now what Sheldon's doing is they're playing a 4-3 defense, and they're bringing that outside linebacker on that single receiver on the either side of the field, and they're using him to play that double team. And then that strong safety is coming over and playing double team on the other side.
Third down, and Warmouth in shotgun. Mandera to his right. It's a keeper for Warmouth. He'll blitz up the middle. He gets the first down out to the 40 and make it the 41. Whistles will stop the clock to move the chains with 2:10 to go here in the first quarter. Sheldon leading 14-0.
And that's what Roseburg needed. I think that's second first down this game so far in this first quarter. So they definitely needed that first down.
That is a 12-yard pickup for Warmouth. Want to let you know that the video stream seems to be having some issues. We're having some bandwidth issues here tonight. Not able to get the internet speeds that we wanted to and thought we were going to. So if you're having line at 541radio.com or listen, of course, on the radio. Quick pass on a slant to Bryant. He slips through one tackle, still on his feet. Peyton Bryant, he comes at 5'7", 150 pounds, but man, is he just a grinder out there as he grinds for a couple extra yards after that quick slant route that gets him out to the 47.
And you got to give some props to Warmouth on that, because that was a really tight window for Bryant to catch that, and it was only put where Bryant could, and he did a great job of catching it and picking up a few yards.
That's the third catch of the night for Peyton Bryant, 25 yards so far. Clock ticking down to 1:14 to go, second down and 4. Option again, keeper again for Warmouth. He goes over the right end, and he gets hit by the safety, but he picks down. You got to give credit this Sheldon Irish team. They are laying some hits, but Roseburg moving the chains on this drive.
And Warmouth's doing a great job in this defense right now. Warmouth's coming through. He's seeing that the defensive ends are closing in on Mandera. Obviously, Sheldon watched the tape last week where he had all those yards rushing, and Warmouth's seeing it, and he's being able to hold on to the ball and pick up quite a few yards.
And Adams to the left. Tight end in the formation for Roseburg to the left side. Two backs in the backfield. Fake the handoff. Quick slant route. It's to Zymet. He's through the middle of the defense, weaving his way downfield. He put the ball on the turf and into the end. And now back out to the 15. Whistles haven't blown. And a penalty flag comes out at the very end behind the play. But it looks like Sheldon's going to have a fumble by Garrett Zymet after Roseburg marching down the field. The sophomore hit from the backside, loses a hand on the football.
And what it's going to be is a penalty against Gage Hill, a block in the back. And again, Zymet, great play by Zymet, but he's got to learn to hold on to that ball next games like this.
So the official does have a microphone. We can't quite make it. The penalty is back at the 9.
And it looks like they're starting way back. So it looks like it's going to
illegal block in the back. So they'll count it off from the 9. And Sheldon will have it half the distance back to their goal line. The 7, I guess. I guess it went from the 14 down to the 7. So fumble there by Zymet, 35 yards.
So only a 2-yard penalty?
They would have had the ball much further out, but they end up marking it off from the 14 back.
So 7.
Yeah. Handoff for Sheldon on the first down carry out to the 15. Looks like it might be not quite there, 4 yards shy. A player had his helmet come off, and that'll be for Sheldon. Jack Folsom will have to come out of the game due to his helmet coming off. The carry there by Burgess out to the 15-yard line. So Sheldon with the football, and that'll end the first quarter. Roseburg has had a couple of possible movement, but unable to finish off a drive yet, and we're at the end of one quarter. It is 14-0. Sheldon in front of Roseburg here on CBS Sports Radio, 1490 The Score.
You're watching live broadcast coverage of Roseburg football on 541radio.com. This game is proudly sponsored by
Abbey Pizza, Travel Leaders Flyaway Travel, I-5 RV, Mahalo Heating and Air Conditioning, and Pepsi Bigfoot Beverage.
Find the live sports broadcast schedule updated each week at 541radio.com.
Swimming season is finally here, but remember, respect the water. Don't swim and don't go in the water if it's under 60 degrees. Under 60 degrees is life-threatening. It could cause hypothermia, which means your limbs paralyzed and you can't get out of the water. Each day, the water temperature...
For the start of the second quarter, Joey Kieran and Josh Nelson with you. Sheldon will have the football out at their own 15-yard line. After the end of the first quarter, finished with a 14-0 score of the Irish. They had the takeaway, first turnover of the ball game for Roseburg, their first of the night. Handed off, sidestepping, it was Ethan Stoner in the backfield. He put his head down, and the running back, Matt Burgess, just made a sidestep around him and broke free to pick up the first down.
And it was Zymet and Warmouth that came in and wrapped him up and brought him down to the ground. So very good job by Warmouth and Zymet.
Pick up there of 9 yards on the ground for Burgess. He is already over 80 yards on the night, but the most of that coming on a 59-yard carry. Burgess sets up in the backfield to the left of Johnson, moves a man in to help block. Fake the handoff in the back, rolling to his left, setting up the throw downfield, has the big target, Patrick Herbert, and he gets down the sideline, taken down low, and out of bounds. I believe Peyton Bryant comes up to make the stop in Roseburg territory. Down at the 46 is Patrick Herbert.
And right there, Herbert showed some speed there. Last year we didn't see that speed from Herbert. He'd catch the ball and he'd try to run it down the field a little bit, but he was nowhere near that fast. That was a lot of speed right there for a tight end.
And he picks up 30 yards on the play. 87 total for him. All the passes going to Herbert so far tonight for Michael Johnson Jr. The senior quarterback will set up in shotgun. Burgess to his right. 2 targets to the right side, 1 to the left. They'll move him in motion in to help block. Rolling to his right is Johnson, just going to carry it himself. He gets into the secondary at the 25, and he can't slip the last tackler. Taken down inside the 20 into the red zone for the Irish as they get to the 14.
Zymet went for his legs and kind of tripped him up just a hair, enough for Mandera to come up from behind and bring him down.
32-yard carry for Johnson. And it is starting to get a little bit away from Roseburg here. 10:45 to go in. And Sheldon has just been moving with ease down the field when they've had the ball, already leading 14-0. Johnson looking to pass to his left, goes on the slant route, and it's off the hands of the intended receiver of the night for Sheldon. And that pass intended for
Braden Ryan, it looks like.
Braden Klinko, the intended target, and it's off his hand. So the incompletion makes it second down from the 15. Roseburg trailing 14-0 with 10:28 to go here in this first half. Taking some time to break the huddle here. The Irish now head on out. Klinko spread out wide to the left. Out there with him, Gunnar Robinson and also Jack Folsom. And the play will stop before they get it snapped. Timeout down on the field, taken by Sheldon. We will take it as well. Quick 30-second break. Back after this here on 1490 The Score.
Live broadcast coverage of Roseburg football on 541radio.com. This game is proudly sponsored by
Abby's Legendary Pizza, Chiaway Travel, I-5 RV, Mahalo Heating and Air Conditioning, and Pepsi Bigfoot Beverages of Roseburg.
Find the live sports broadcast schedule updated each week at 541radio.com.
$10:28 to go here from Sheldon High School in Eugene. 14-0. The Irish in front. They're set up in the red zone. Have second down and 10 from the 4.5. Out of a timeout by the Irish. Still set up with Johnson in the backfield. Burgess to his right. They move a man in motion. Formation. Hand it off to Burgess. He runs behind his blockers. Hit to the 5 as he's taken down at the 4. It should set up first down and possibly, no, they'll put him at the 5. It'll be third down and half a yard for the Irish to keep the drive going.
And it was a good little block by the slot receiver, Sheldon, to come up and pick up the defensive end to open up that gap.
They'll go a quick snap up the middle. The running back goes hard into the line. He'll pick up the first. First and goal for Sheldon is Burgess right into the line. Moves the chains, but only picks up about a yard and a half.
If you plan on trying to just go, and you're not going to be able to do it against this Roseburg defense. They have shown that time in and time again that you cannot just power that ball straight up the middle. Some sort of option motion to confuse that front line for Roseburg in order to move that ball.
First and goal from the 4. Twins to either side, no tight end in the formation. Looking to pass, Johnson, quick slant route, and it's nicely defended by Garrett, getting a hand in the path of that pass, helping break it up, I believe intended for Jack Folsom.
A very good job by Zymet to come in with his receiver the entire way across. It was a little slant route and be able to get up there, put his hand down, and kind of knock that ball away.
Second down and goal from the 4. Roseburg's defense trying to hold. See if they can force them to a field goal. Leading 14-0. Sheldon trying to add and make it a 3-score game. Surveying the defense as Johnson moves a man from left to right across the formation. High snap, handed off. Burgess, one cut into the end zone, touchdown. Burgess, his second, make it his first touchdown of the night. And Sheldon now on top, 20-0.
Yeah, and right there, it's just a little option. You could either go to the running back or the fullback or anything on that, and that's exactly what they're doing. They're bringing in a receiver, and they're opening up, blocking that defensive end, and just leaving a big old hole right there and being able to run right off that side.
20-0. First rushing touchdown of the night for Matthew Burgess. Comes from 3 yards out. First score of the second quarter for the Irish. trying to make it 21-0. The kick from Kartub is good. He's now 29 for 30 on the season on PATs. Sheldon leads 21-0 with 9:30 to go here in the second quarter. Keep it right here. Want to let you know that Roseburg football tonight brought to you by I-5RV. Visit I-5RV and find your new adventure for as low as 0% down and $149 a month. I-5RV in Sutherland, now under new management. And tonight's game brought to you by Cascade Community Credit Union, belong to Douglas County. Well, we've seen Sheldon look every bit of the part of a very high-powered offense. Roseburg's done all right. The last drive was going very well before a fumble ended it for Roseburg deep into Sheldon territory. We know that Roseburg not going to be able to give the Irish opportunities because this Sheldon team too dangerous. But so far, I'd say the Roseburg's offense hasn't done bad, just needs to capitalize on the opportunities. The Roseburg defense having a tough time containing all the weapons on the field for the Irish.
Yeah, it's just really hard to read for the defense.
Kick is away, moving left to right now. The Sheldon kick goes to the 2, picked up there by Bryant. Returning right to left at the 15, a couple of stutter steps, trying to find some sort of space, and a penalty flag will come out at the end of the play as Bryant got out to the 18-yard line. We'll see if that's where Roseburg will start the drive.
It's holding on Roseburg.
If that is the case, Roseburg could be backed up to about the 9. And they are
on the 7.
So Roseburg's offense backed up against its own end zone here. Warmouth in shotgun, Mandera to his right, and him in the pistol formation. Gage Hill turning, give it to Hill, running up the middle, and Gage able to find a little bit of space, gets the ball out, a little breathing room is 13.
And he's slow getting up. It looks like he's going to have to,
him.
That would be because he did pick up quite a few yards on that first run. This Roseburg team, that offense, as you said, they are putting things together. They just need to finish it and get in the end zone. Where the defense, they're having a hard time tonight. So you're going to have to rely on that offense and even maybe that special teams a little bit to make happen. Get that defense off the field a little bit.
Gage Hill will get some help walking it to the sideline. Coach Heiberger and Julie limps his right leg, the injured leg. We'll see if we see him again here tonight. That'll make Mandera the sole back in the backfield with Warren. Ellis entered the game as a wide receiver in Hill's place. Trips to the right for the Indians. It's a keeper for Warmouth. He'll now toss it down the line. Ryan around a defender will pick up the first down. That's a different variation of a play that we've seen Roseburg run plenty of times, but have never seen Warmouth decide to fin after a keeper in the backfield.
Yeah, that's an option pass play there. You have an option to hand the ball off to Mandera right there. You have the option to keep the ball or the option to pass the ball to a receiver. And on that play, Mandera decided he was going to toss it to the receiver.
9-yard pickup. Roseburg with trips to the left, sack formation for two of the receivers there. Adams spread out. Be a run up the middle, I believe. That is Mandera carrying the football. Short pickup of about 2.
And that's really unfair because on this side of the field, there was 3 receivers on this near side of the field, and there was only 2 guys blocking them. They had receiver unblocked, and Roseburg did not see that.
Ball goes to the 24, pickup of 2 for Mandera. Been heading for the senior running back tonight. He has had really just 2 games as the featured running back, and he's compiled 350 yards, but on 5 carries, only 14 yards total. Rolling to his left on 2nd down and 8. Warmouth throwing downfield intended for Zymet, or out in front of him. Incompletion stops the clock with 7:41 to play in the first half.
And right there, Zymet was very well covered too, so that would have been a bang. If Zymet catches that ball, he's going to get hit just as quick.
And it would have been around the first down marker if he had been able to get to it. But instead, Roseburg will face 3rd down and 8. Trying to get some points on the board, trailing 21-0 here in the second. Sheldon. Roseburg also trying to get closer to midfield. If they do have to kick it away, you'd like to be a little bit further out. Warmoth looking to pass, looks to his left, comes back to the bubble screen to Adams. Does get out of one tackle, but he does not have enough speed to get away. He'll get back close to about the line of scrimmage, maybe to the 25, and Roseburg will face 4th.
And right there, like I had said a couple times before, a receiver was uncovered. Well, right there, they acted like that outside linebacker on this side of the field actually shifted over, and everybody shifted over as soon as the ball was snapped, and so every receiver was covered.
So it'll make it 4th down. They did not really pick up anything. 4th down and 8 to go for Roseburg. Warmoth zone 12. Return man standing at the 45, Sheldon's half of the field. Warmoth gets away, a quick punt. That pressure keeps coming from Sheldon. He kicks away from the return man to the 40 and rolls to the sideline inside the 40 at about the 38-yard line. And that is where Sheldon will get the ball again. Roseburg so far punted 3 times and turned it over once.
And that was right there. That was a very nice punt. It was kind of high, but it was a really good punt by Warmoth.
Sheldon starts with the ball at their own 38-yard line, leading 21-0. Our Cooper's Pest Control halftime show. We'll get you some stat updates from tonight line, and Burgess continues to just be a tough tackle as, boy, he is quick to the line, and he seems to be shifty as well as tough to bring down.
Well, and so far from what we're seeing from the Sheldon team, they're stronger, and it seems like they're a lot faster than this Roseburg team.
14 yards on the ground that time for Burgess. He is already at the century mark here in the first half. Sets up to the right of Johnson, gives it to him again. They just feed him the rock. 40. He has a man down in front of him as he continues downfield. Just running behind his blockers who lead the way, and Burgess just keeps downfield. He gets to the 24 to move the chains and set up Sheldon near the red zone.
And right there, Warmoth came in and hit, and he kind of bounced off of Warmoth and fell out of bounds. But if Roseburg doesn't wrap up these, they're not going to get him on the ground very easily.
First down and 10 from the Roseburg 24 now for Sheldon. Johnson looking to pass, pressure in the backfield. He'll run away from it. Running to the sideline. He'll toss it downfield. It's caught by Herbert. Knocked out of bounds. Warmoth in coverage. Sends him out at the 9.5-yard line. It moves the chains and just continues to prove why this offense is so. As Johnson on the run, able to find the big target in Herbert.
Yeah, Johnson on the run, being able to find Herbert, and then Herbert being able to reach out, come up and grab that ball. It was a little bit high, and he was still able to go up and grab it, and that is why he has been recruited to the University of Oregon.
It's on the completion. Johnson gives it to the big back in the backfield. The new man in, fumbles it into the end zone and back. No, they'll down before he lets the ball go. Running in for the score is Lane Shields, and it makes it 27-0.
And that's unfortunate. You don't have replay on high school football because it did look like it got fumbled before he got across the line, which would have and Roseburg's ball on the 20.
5:47 to go as they ring the bell. Sheldon on top 27. This is kind of what we'd hope not to see tonight for the Roseburg Indians.
Yeah, we hope not to see it. We thought that it was a possibility to see this. Remind everybody that just because we are seeing this right now does not mean that Roseburg hasn't closed the gap in the Southwest Conference.
Sit into the end zone, and Khartoum will kick another PAT. And Sheldon on top, nothing. We'll take a quick break and come back with more of the second quarter here on 1490 The Score.
You are watching less coverage of Roseburg football on 541radio.com. This game is proudly sponsored by
Roseburg Disposal, Tim's Appliance, Pest Control, Umpqua Dairy, Fisher's Hearth and Home, Cascade Community Credit Union, Douglas County Farmers Co-op, Supercut Vibrations, and also Chuck Swarman Family Auto Repair. $62 yards in 58 seconds. All that as they drive down the field.
to make it a 28-0 score here in the second quarter. Coach Heiberger trying to find some way to solve is the Sheldon defense as the offense will make its way back on the field after the kickoff. Khartoum ready to kick it away. The big booted kicker drives one to the 5, and Bryant will take it there. Out to the 20. Lowers his shoulder, and he will come up short of the 5. And Roseburg will take over. For Roseburg, this will be their second possession of the second quarter. So far, they've punted 3 times and fumbled once.
But they have got some movement on the ball throughout this game. And if it wasn't for that, Roseburg probably would have walked away with some points that drive.
I agree. They were down to about the 5-yard line. But that's where the fumble came by the sophomore Garrett Zymet. Trips to the left side for Warmouth in shotgun. He'll toss it. It's Mandera running right side. Some stutter steps in the backfield. And it's collapsing around him. Mandera waiting for some open. 2nd and 7 for Roseburg. Ball at their own 27-yard line. Sorry, make it the 28-yard line. Thin shotgun. And Dara to his left. Adams, the lone target to the left, trips to the right side. They do have 2 defensive backs on the right side with Adams. Handed off, Mandera. Being through the line, had guys all over him. Will get across the 25. Excuse me, I think I've been saying the 25. That's the, yeah. I think I might have been confusing myself for some reason there. Across the.
And there's a couple poles in our way as well. I actually can't see the 3 on the 30.
The joys of high school football broadcasting. 3rd down and 4 for Roseburg. Another chance to try and move the chains. Warmouth the keeper. The option. 35. It's going to be right on top of the first down marker. I think they moved the chains.
Yep, that should be a first down. They are moving the chains. It is a first down.
It will move the chain. Warmouth picks up 4 on the carry, and Roseburg will extend the drive.
And that continues the clock here, trying to burn off going into halftime as well.
4:01 to go before the halftime break. Roseburg hoping to try and end this first half with a score and get it back down to a 3-score game, see if they could together in the second half. Make some adjustments in the locker room. They set up here, 1st down and 10 from the 35. Shotgun snap, quick pass out to the near side for Bryant. He's got to try and lose some defenders. They collapse quick on him and bring down Bryant for a tackle for loss.
Sheldon's doing a good job at getting to the football. They are not allowing many yards after the catch or even after the run. They're doing a great team there, and it's not just one. It's normally 2 or 3 Sheldon players getting to that football.
2nd down and 11 now for Roseburg. Ball mark at the 34. Clock ticking down to 3:07. Looks like it must be homecoming night tonight here at Sheldon as they're starting to bring out some fancy cars for halftime.
Yeah, it looks like Corvettes right now.
Yeah. Warmouth looking to pass. They try to set up the screen. A jump pass over the man in front of him. And he was trying to get it to a receiver in the middle of the line. He came up short. I think Sheldon's sideline trying to get an intentional grounding call, but the official saying there was an area.
Yeah, it was number 3, Bryant, was in the area right there, and the official was pointing at him saying, hey, he's right there. So just letting Sheldon know that was an intentional grounding.
3rd down and 11. Warmouth trying to convert again. Fakes the in around, pressure coming. He'll escape one tackler. Penalty flags out from all over to run it on the scramble. And sliding down across the 40. The Sheldon player down. We'll wait to see what the penalty flags are about in the backfield, but that was a mess of a play there. Everybody was going every which direction. Sheldon thought they had the sack, then Warmouth escapes, and the offense trying to scramble.
Personal foul face mask.
That is the call. That'll help Roseburg.
On who?
I believe. He did not, but they will move the chain, so it's going to be against Sheldon.
I guess he thinks since he has a microphone he doesn't have to say, which a couple times tonight already.
Well, it was a 7-yard pickup for Warmouth on the ground, and then they add to the end of the run the 15-yard penalty and into Sheldon territory. Second penalty of the night for Sheldon.
Yeah, only second penalty of the night for Sheldon. Only 3rd penalty in the first half total.
Ball 4, Sheldon's half of the field. Roseburg trying to build some momentum into the break. Bryant goes in motion left to right, looking to pass to his left. Warmith, backfield, he'll sidearm it out to Bryant. He gets taken down by his ankles as he falls forward for a yard and a half. Nice little scramble. Warmith makes something out of not much.
Yeah, they're able to pick up 1 yard, and that keeps the clock moving, which is a good thing for Roseburg.
Warmith is now 9 of 12 through the air tonight. Roseburg may be forced to pass a little bit more going to the second half, trailing 28-0, 2:02 to go here in the first half. 2 backs in the backfield with Colin Warmith. He turns and hands it, running up the middle. This time it's Ethan Stoner. Keeps fighting for yardage as the pile gets held up at about the 41-yard line, and Stoner gets credit to the 42, which is really pretty much only about a 1-yard pickup.
Yeah, Ethan Stoner was not going to go down. He was trying to make something pretty much out of nothing. There's a blitz coming from Sheldon on that play, straight up the middle. Every gap was filled right there, and they still tried to run it up the middle.
Stoner filling in for Gage Hill, who went out with an injury. We'll try and see if we can check on him.
And you got man-on-man against Adams right now.
Pressure coming. Warmith escapes a tackle, but then as he tries to escape the pocket, he's got emerald green in his face, and he cannot get away. Back to the 47, and a timeout called on the field. That is a timeout by Sheldon, I believe, as they apparently want to try and get the football back again before the end of the first half. Sheldon will have 1 timeout left here in the first half. Roseburg facing 4th down and long, will likely be punting coming up on the next snap.
I'm not sure if right now, if I was Roseburg, if I would necessarily want to punt. I'm on the other side of the 50. I'm down 4 touchdowns. Why not try to pick up the first down and keep the clock moving? You take a risk when you punt of that punt being returned by Sheldon, and we know Sheldon can do that. With the athletes they have out here on the field, they could easily probably get a good, decent return. So I don't know if I would necessarily punt it away or just try to keep it and either try to get as many yards as possible or try to pick up that first down.
Well, we've seen a lot of pressure on punts so far. Warmith has been kicking around guys that have been in the backfield, very close to possibly blocking it. So that might be part of the plan here for the Irish, is to try and see if they can get in the backfield and knock the punt down before Warmith can get it away. And if they could do that, they would more than likely be in Roseburg half of the field trying to pick up the football and return it.
Yeah, or they receive the ball back here at the 20 and they return it all the way back by getting good blocks, because Sheldon has done a great job of blocking tonight.
Out of the timeout, it does look like Roseburg will leave the offense on the field, so they may be trying to wear down as much time as possible here, and not much to try and score one more time before the end. Way out of it there, but he loses 17 on that sack.
And that's a good victory for Roseburg to get a sack on him right now.
Back to his own 3-yard.
And they're going to take it to halftime.
They're just letting it go to the halftime break. Sheldon on top, 28-0 as we head to halftime. Roseburg a positive play to finish things out half, but they got to get some action going as we reach the second half. Sheldon up 28-0. The Irish get the ball to start the second half. We'll see in store what kind of adjustments they can make. We'll recap the first half and take a look going forward when we return with the Cooper's Pest Control Halftime Show. After this 2-minute break here on CBS Sports Radio, 1490 The Score.
This is Roseburg Football Online at 541radio.com. Thanks for tuning in to this week's game. Here's a look for the Roseburg Indians. Find the live sports broadcast schedule updated at 541radio.com.
It's easy to spot people who participated in high school sports and activities.
Right on time.
Important lessons like leadership, teamwork, respect.
Hey, our meeting moved to 10.
We'll be ready.
Values that last a lifetime.
We need to focus on 3 factors.
Support high school sports and activities in your community. They get set for life.
You're watching live broadcast coverage of Roseburg football on 541 Radio. This game is proudly sponsored by
Roseburg Disposal, Tim's Appliance, Cooper's Pest Control, Umpqua Dairy, Fisher's, Cascade Community Credit Union, Douglas County Farmers Co-op, Supercut, Good Vibrations, and also Chuck Swarman Repair.
At Brook Communications, our job is to get results for your business, period. Story and tell it to the people you want to reach in a way that compels first-time clients to become repeat customers. We get them through your door so you can do what you were meant to do. Explain your sales message to the largest audience of any media company in Douglas County. Brook Communication through the power of 5 radio stations and 541radio.com. Results amplified. Locally owned. Brook Communications.
We welcome you in. Cooper's Pest Control halftime show. Cooper's Pest Control, your locally owned bug assassins with great low rates. Give them a call at 673-0363. At the half, the Roseburg Indians trail the Sheldon Irish 28-0. Joey Keyran and Josh Nelson with you here at half. It has been a tough first half for the Roseburg Indians, but I guess if you're talking about closing the gap, last year at halftime, it was 34-0, turned the ball over 5 times. Here in 2018, they are down only 28-0, and they've turned the ball over once. I guess trying to look at the positives on a not-so-pleasant first half for the Roseburg football team. They will look to try and make the adjustments at the break and see if they can clean things up and put some offense coming up for the second half.
Well, we saw that they did put together some offense. Even in this first half, they were able to pick up some yards with Warmer, and then they were able to pass the ball around. That run, that first quarter, opened up that passing play right there for Zymet to get the ball. The only down after he caught the ball, he fumbled the ball. So if Roseburg can hold on to the ball, I think Roseburg can score in this game. I don't think Roseburg's going to get shut out by any means. I think Roseburg has the potential to score and maybe even make this competitive in the second half. We saw this happen last year where they went way up on it in the first half, and then in the second half, Roseburg made some adjustments. Yes, they had some of the second string come in and third string for Sheldon come in that second half. Roseburg has the potential here to make this a competitive game come the second half. It's only 28 points that is possible to overcome, but Rose to hit just right for Roseburg.
Again, our score, 28-0 at the halftime break. And it is homecoming night, it looks like. They had the Corvettes drive by. That was a very odd-looking homecoming kind of coronation thing. I don't know if it was homecoming. Maybe it's just a spirit week. They had a balloon arch out there, a red carpet, the Corvettes leading people out. Not sure exactly what was happening, but nonetheless, it's an extended, it seems, halftime show here for the Sheldon Irish as the band out there on the field for the halftime performance. Taking a look at your scoring recap from the first half of tonight's action. Roseburg has punted 4 times in the game, turned it over once. Sheldon, meanwhile, has scored on every possession except for the final possession that ended the first half. The first score for Sheldon came on a 3-yard run by Johnson Jr., Michael Johnson Jr., the quarterback. Second touchdown was a pass from Johnson Jr. to Patrick Herbert from 47 yards out, made it 14-0. That was your score at the end of the first quarter. In the second quarter, a drive that started in the first and goes into the second quarter, finishes on a 4-yard touchdown run for Matthew Burgess, his first of the night. And then it was Lane Shields that comes in for a touchdown run from 9 yards out for Sheldon. Another running back getting some action. Made it 28-0, and that is our score here at the break. We'll come back and take a look at some individual stats and get a little more breakdown of the first half, and then get ready for the second half. Plus, we'll take a look at the scoreboard for you from other games around the Umpqua Basin. So stay with us. Plenty going on here tonight from Sheldon High School. Back after this 2-minute break on 1490 The Score.
This is Roseburg Football Online at 541radio.com. Thanks for tuning in to this week's game. Here's a look at what's coming up for the Roseburg Indians. Find the live sports broadcast schedule updated each week at 541radio.com.
It's easy to spot people who participated in high school sports and activities.
Right on time.
They learned important lessons like leadership, teamwork, respect.
Hey, our meeting moved to 10.
We'll be ready.
Values that last a lifetime.
We need to focus on 3 factors.
Support high school sports and activities in your community. When kids take part, they get set for life.
You are watching live broadcast coverage of Roseburg football on 541radio.com. This game is proudly sponsored by
Roseburg Disposal, Tim's Appliance, Cooper's Pest Control, Umpqua Dairy, Fisher's Hearth and Home, Cascade Community Credit Union, Douglas County Farmers Co-op, Supercut, Good Vibrations, and also Chuck Swarman Family Auto Repair.
At Brook Communications, our job is to get results for your business, period. We can take your story and tell it to the people you want to reach in a way that compels first-time clients to become repeat customers. We get them through your door so you can do what you were meant to do. Proclaim your sales message to the largest audience of any media company in Douglas County. Brook Communications dominates through the power of 5 radio stations and 541radio.com. Results amplified. Locally owned. Brook Communications.
Back here at halftime, 11:58 to go at the halftime break, in case you're curious. So used to checking the clock and giving you the update on the time left in the game, and just out of habit, I tell you how much time's left here in the halftime break. The Sheldon Band entertaining us here at halftime. Our score 28-0. Sheldon up big against Roseburg in the first half. Joey Kieran and Josh Nelson here with you tonight back in the studio. Big thanks to Cruz Ibanez running things on the radio side. Again, we have been having some issues with our internet connection here at Sheldon High School. If that is causing the video feed to be an issue for you, you can listen to the game streaming live online at 541radio.com, where you'll be able to stream the station there. So if you are outside the radio station's listening area, you can follow the game still online. Or if you are in the Roseburg area, you can tune into your radio and listen to Roseburg football here tonight. We want to pause 10 seconds for a station identification. You're listening to Roseburg football here on CBS Sports Radio, 1490 The Score. Well, at halftime, again, our score 28-0. Let's go ahead and get you an Umpqua Dairy stat update. Umpqua Dairy, your local dairy since 1931. For Roseburg, 9 of 12 passing for Colin Warmoth tonight. 72 yards through the air. Unfortunately, no scores. He has not turned the ball over in the passing game. Zach Mandero came in with a really good rushing number. 350 yards, averaging 50 yards per game. But unfortunately, he's gotten out to a bit of a slow start here tonight. Just 20 yards on the ground on 7 carries. Colin Warmoth, 44 yards rushing tonight on 7 carries as well. In the passing game, Peyton Bryant leading the way, 5 catches for 33 yards. Garrett Zymet had a catch for 35 yards, but fumbled at the end of the play, and so he has the 1 turnover there. And D'Angelo Adams with 2 catches for 3 yards. On the other side for Sheldon, 4 of 6 through the air for Michael Johnson Jr. He's got 102 yards. He's had a couple of big plays, a 47-yard pass for a touchdown to Patrick Herbert and a 30-yard connection to Herbert as well. In fact, all 4 of his completions have gone to Patrick Herbert, who has 102 yards in the receiving game. Matthew Burgess on the ground, 10 carries, 138 yards tonight. He's got 1 touchdown. That came in the second quarter. He has gotten most of his yardage on a 59-yard run to start out the game, his first carry of the night. He does have a 24-yard and a 14-yard run as well. Johnson Jr. has 5 carries, 26 yards. He took a 17-yard sack before the end of the first half, but does have 1 touchdown and a 32-yard run. And it was Lane Shields with a 9-yard touchdown run, rounding out the rushing game tonight for the Sheldon Irish. That is a look at your Umpqua Dairy stats. Do not forget, coming up in our Roseburg Disposal postgame show, we will name our Abby's Legendary Pizza Legendary Player of the Game, so stay tuned for that. Roseburg football tonight has been brought to you by DC Farmers Co-op, where everyone's welcome to shop, and by Good Vibration Solutions for home theater and automotive audio. You can feel it at Good Vibes. We are here at the halftime break as we wait for the teams to make their way back out of the locker room. We'll be excited to see what kind of adjustments the Roseburg Indians make. And Josh, as you look at it, Roseburg, they've kind of killed themselves on a couple of drives. The fumble, they stalled out on another one. They need to just find a way to finish off a drive and maybe build some positive momentum. Right now playing catch-up at down 28-0. What kind of adjustments do you think that head coach Dave Heiberger is able to maybe do during the halftime break?
Right now I think that he's got to be somewhat happy with what he can do. Right now I think what he's going to probably tell the guys is make sure we don't turn the ball over unnecessarily. So when it comes down to it, don't fumble, don't intercept, and on his part, don't get a turnover on downs. Don't allow Sheldon to have this ball longer than they absolutely need to have it, because Sheldon pretty much has picked apart Roseburg's defense. So I'm hoping the coaches have gone up and they've seen how Sheldon has picked apart the defense and maybe made some adjustments, maybe go down to a 4-3 type defense instead of that 5 down lineman, give an extra linebacker time to read that run, decide who's going to have the ball, and maybe get a stop on that run. But otherwise, Roseburg's doing a fairly decent job. They are moving the ball down the field. They've only got 2 or 3 first downs, I think, this entire game, but they're taking a lot of time off the clock as they go ahead and do it. Sheldon, this is a low penalized game right now. Sheldon only has 2 penalties for, it looks like, 22 yards, and Roseburg has 1 penalty for 7 yards. So overall, this probably, other than giving Sheldon 4 touchdowns in the first half, this has been a fairly successful outing, I think, for Roseburg.
Looking at some of the numbers, 25 points a game for Roseburg coming into this one. They've been bringing that number up. Be curious to kind of see what happens in conference play. If you looked at the numbers strictly from Southwest Conference play, what their points per game are, because they definitely have improved since the start of the season. But Sheldon on the other side averaging 45 points per game, so you knew it was going to be a tall task tonight for the Roseburg Indians. Unfortunately, the first half not falling their direction. We'll have more of the ball game coming up for you here in just a little bit. Want to let you know tonight's game brought to you by Mahalo Heating and Cooling, your best choice for the finest indoor comfort control. Give them a call at 672-6707. And by Flyaway Travel and Pepsi and Bigfoot Beverages. Well, we've got some time here. Want to try and see if we can take a look at some scores from around the Umpqua Basin and other games of note tonight. Josh, any report on scores that you've got so far?
So far what I have is Mapleton at Elkton was played at 3 o'clock today, so that game is over. Elkton did win 78, Mapleton 36. Then Lowell at North Douglas, the last update on that one, and this one was North Douglas playing the number 1 team in the state in the 1A 8-man football. And right now the score was North Douglas 20, Lowell 24 in the first quarter.
Okay.
Another game that played earlier today was Glendale at Days Creek. Days Creek did win 60 over Glendale's 30. The one game that's going to play tomorrow, Camas Valley Myrtle Point is coming to Camas Valley and playing at 1 o'clock tomorrow in Camas Valley. At halftime for the Southwest Conference, South Medford and Grants Pass are playing each other, and that game is tied 7-7.
Oh, and that's at halftime.
That's at halftime.
Wow.
And then I've got, it looks like, for Major League Baseball in the 5th inning, it looks like the Dodgers are down 5-2 in the 5th inning. And then UCC Riverhawks volleyball.
Yeah.
UCC lost today to Clark in a sweep.
Oh.
First set was 28-26. Second set 25-20. And the last update I had didn't give me the exact score of the third set.
Still, that's a pretty tight matchup there for UCC. I was looking to see if I could find a score on that one as well. Wasn't sure if you had it. So that's awesome that you had it. Unfortunate, though, for the UCC Riverhawks that they could not pull out a win. They're on. That's the start of a 4-game homestand for them. So if you didn't get a chance to get out there and check out the UCC volleyball team tonight, you've got more opportunities coming up. So we encourage you to head on out there to UCC and root on the Riverhawks. At halftime, our score here from Sheldon High School is 28-0. The Roseburg Indians behind the Irish at the moment. We'll have more coming up for you. Again, tonight's game brought to you by Fisher's Hearth and Home, serving Douglas County for over 30 years with the largest selection of wood, gas, pellet, and electric stoves and fireplaces. That's Fisher's Hearth and Home. We will have a couple other things to discuss here during the halftime show, so we will take our final break, come back, get you ready for the start of the second half, and touch on a couple of other topics of note. Final 60-second break. This has been the Cooper's Pest Control Halftime Show. Back with the second half after this on 1490 The Score.
You are watching live broadcast coverage of Roseburg football on 541radio.com. This game is proudly sponsored by
Abby's Legendary Pizza, Travel Leaders Flyaway Travel, I-5 RV, Mahalo Heating and Air Conditioning, and Pepsi Bigfoot Beverages of Roseburg.
Find the live sports broadcast schedule updated each week at 541radio.com.
Swimming season is finally here, but remember, respect the water. Don't swim and don't go in the water if it's under 60 degrees. Swimming in water under 60 degrees is life-threatening. It could cause hypothermia, which means your limbs paralyzed and you can't get out of the water. Each day, the water temperature of the Umpqua River will be posted on kpic.com and kval.com, and in the morning weather on KPIC. Respect the water. Know the temperature. Brought to you by the Respect the Water Safety Committee.
Which we're not. We'll see. The teams are making their way back out onto the field as we get ready for the second half action coming up here in just a moment. Sheldon out there. Roseburg will be back out here on the field shortly as we get ready for the final 2 quarters of tonight's ball game. Josh was talking with athletic director Russ Bolin before tonight's game. You and I were driving up this evening and realized that there still is a possibility that Roseburg, Grants Pass, and North Medford could all finish in a 3-way tie for 3rd place in the Southwest Conference this season. Only 5 teams in, so you know there's not a lot of teams to have to battle through. Top 3 teams get into the postseason, and so a 3-way tie for 3rd place, you suddenly start wondering, how do you decide who's getting in as the number 3 seed out of the Southwest Conference? Well, if it's Grants Pass, North Medford, and Roseburg, the head-to-head tiebreaker for those 3 teams doesn't work out because they've all beat each other. There's no tiebreaker there. According to Russ Bolin, you go then to your head-to-head records against the teams in the conference from the top down. So you would more than likely start with Sheldon, then South Medford, and work your way down. According to Bolin, that doesn't break the tie either. And then you look at OSAA power rankings. And looking at the standings coming into tonight's action, the power rankings had Roseburg at number 28, Grants Pass at number 21, North Medford at 30, then Sheldon at number 3, and South Medford at number 12. So things are pretty tight between those three teams. Roseburg hoping to at least not lose much ground, even if they lose tonight against the number 3 Sheldon Irish. And then hopefully they get a boost with other teams that they've played this season, maybe getting wins tonight, helping out their power ranking, and then hopefully finish out the season with a win against Canby and maybe boost their ranking a little bit more. Maybe that's enough if Grants Pass is to lose their final 2 games of the conference season and the regular season. That'd be against Sheldon and South Medford. That could drop Grants Pass back a little bit, maybe close the gap for Roseburg. And then North Medford's behind everybody at the moment at number 30. If they lose their final 2 games of the season, maybe they drop back far enough that Roseburg's the highest ranked team. It's possible. There is still a way that Roseburg gets in as an automatic bid. But what first and foremost has to happen is that North Medford's got to lose one more time in conference play, and Grants Pass would have to lose twice.
Yeah, I kind of feel like we've been here down this road before, like last year, where Roseburg was, I think, pretty close about this time last year at 28.
Probably right around there, yeah.
And then all of a sudden you lose to Willamette, I believe, in overtime. And did we lose to Willamette?
The final game of the season was against North Salem.
We beat Willamette, right?
I believe so.
So we beat Willamette. Willamette forfeits to Sheldon. We come and play Sheldon last year. We go to overtime against North Salem and we lose. And we're ranked right around that 28 area. Willamette wins 1 game, and Roseburg wins 3 last year. And they still didn't get in. So I kind of feel like right now Roseburg's schedule has been a lot harder, but it's kind of like deja vu all over again. If we lose tonight, Roseburg lost a lot of points last year on power ranking when we lost to Sheldon, where Willamette forfeit and only dropped, I think, 7 spots against Sheldon. So it would be interesting to see if Roseburg won't drop if they lose today, and then they play a Canby team that has been very unimpressive. So will they lose spots there if they beat Canby?
I would imagine you're not going to drop if you win, even if it is against a lower team. And here, despite losing, I don't think they really drop that much either. So I think Roseburg's probably pretty close, depending on, obviously, maybe if they win here, they could boost up really well. You never know. But I think Roseburg's right around if the score holds for Sheldon here tonight, and if they can take care of business against a winless Canby team next week, I say Roseburg's probably right in the range of where they're going to finish out with the power ranking, which would be good enough to get Roseburg in as an at-large team as well, even if they don't get the number 3 seed out of the Southwest Conference. So I don't know about you, but I'm feeling fairly confident that this Roseburg team will be playing the first week of the state playoffs.
I feel very confident in my mind that Roseburg should be playing in the first week of the playoffs. But after last year's disappointment, last year really upset me, kind of confused me, and I was still not over it, obviously. I'm not confident in the power ranking system.
It is a system that has some funny quirks, and so that is why we say everything in possibilities and guesses and estimations, because you never exactly know what is going to take place. Roseburg will be kicking the ball off for the first time tonight, not getting into the end zone in the first half and receiving the ball to start the first half. Roseburg never did tee it up. So Peyton Bryant will put it on the tee, get ready to kick. You've got Bryant and Carson Ellis that have been splitting the kickoff duties. Feels like Bryant might have a little bit of the stronger leg. He gets ready to kick it left to right on your radio dial. Roseburg wearing the white tops. Sheldon in all green tonight. It's a short end-over-end kick. It'll die at about the 33. That's where Sheldon picks it up. And Colin Reitman gets his hands on the return man, who then turns upfield and carries Roseburg's return kick coverage out to near the 45-yard line. I don't know how the pile got moving there, but that was a nice turn of events after getting stuck back inside the 35.
Yeah, Reitman had him completely wrapped up, it looked like, and he just somehow or another kept his legs moving and was able to pick up a nice probably 5 yards there before he was ever brought down.
First down and 10 for Sheldon. They'll start with the football here in the second half, leading 28-0. Ball at their own 44-yard line. In the backfield is Michael Johnson Jr., the senior quarterback. Turns, and no, he'll keep it as he pulls it back late. Running left side, has open space. He's got some numbers in his favor, but the wide receiver does not continue to block for him, and Garrett Zymet brings him down in Roseburg territory. But if that wide receiver holds that block, Johnson Jr. might be to the house right now.
Yeah, and Johnson Jr. wasn't happy about it. He threw the ball down after the play was over with because he knew he could have been to the house if his receiver would have held the block, and he did not. But very good job by Zymet, wrapping his feet up and bringing him down.
19-yard run there for Johnson Jr. Up the middle now for the Irish, and that play not going very far on 1st down and 10 in Roseburg territory, down to about the 36-yard line.
And right now you can see why Johnson Jr. has been selected by Penn State. He is a dual-threat quarterback, and he's very good at reading. He takes time. It looks like the play develops slowly, but he takes time to read the defense, decide on that option play, whether or not to keep it or give the ball to the running back.
2nd down and 9. After just a 1-yard gain for Matthew Burgess, his first carry of the second half. They'll bubble it out to him out of the backfield. Burgess catches on the run. His speed, he's through the defense, and one man to beat, and just bringing him down by a shoelace. I believe that's Colin Warmouth, the safety, deep, able to bring down Burgess, trips him up. Otherwise, he is off to the house.
Yeah, Warmouth did a good job at catching him there, but like you said, he would have been off to the house if he did not do that shoestring tackle.
30-yard pass to Burgess out of the backfield. Now looking to go on a pass to the end zone. The in route caught. Touchdown Sheldon, and the Irish will add another score on the board here as they start out the second half. The touchdown pass is into the hands of Jack Folsom. That will be Folsom's 4th touchdown grab of the season.
And that was a really quick scoring drive by the Sheldon offense. They've got Roseburg's number right now. In almost a minute and a half, they scored in just about a minute and a half of the game, and that's really quick. Now Roseburg's offense has got to keep this ball away from this Sheldon offense.
The PAT coming up. The kicker for Sheldon, Jay Kartub, a sophomore, has been perfect tonight. And he has quite the kick. He puts that one through the uprights. And it is 35 to nothing. Sheldon in front. We'll take a 30-second break and be back with more of the second half here on 1490 The Score.
At Brook Communications, our job is to get results for your business, period. We can take your story and tell it to the people you want to reach in a way that compels first-time clients to become repeat customers. We get them through your door so you can do what you were meant to do. Proclaim your sales message to the largest audience of any media company in Douglas County. Brook Communications dominates through the power of 5 radio stations and 541radio.com. Results amplified. Locally owned. Brook Communications.
The 6-yard touchdown strike makes it 35 to nothing. Sheldon in front. They have topped their score against Roseburg from last year, and last year Roseburg held Sheldon scoreless in the second half. Well, the Irish too much for Roseburg here to start out the second half in tonight's ball game. Kartub will kick it away once again for the Irish. Roseburg's first possession of the second half coming up. Kick goes to the 2, and it's bobbled. Bryant will pick it up. He'll cut upfield at the 20-yard line. He is brought down by the Irish.
And a big hole opened up there on the 20, but it closed just as fast. That's how quick these Sheldon Irish boys are.
Roseburg's offense will make its way out onto the field. Held scoreless in the first half. Roseburg has not been shut out at all this season. Their fewest points this year was 6, and that came in the first game of the season against Mountain View. Since then, they've been steadily climbing with their point totals each game. Right now, in danger of possibly getting shut out, although still very early in the second half, and a lot of football still left to be played. Roseburg has the ball at their own 20-yard line. 1st and 10 for Warmouth in shotgun. Low snap, pump fake once, looking to pass, pocket collapsing. He'll now tuck it. He tries to run away, and he will not escape the pressure in the backfield.
There is a flag on the play.
There is, and the official on the near sideline looking to the coach. And I think they're going to possibly decline this one. It looks like it's probably going against Roseburg.
Yeah, it came from the line judge, and normally it's a holding penalty.
They took Roseburg back to the 18, I believe. Get the call from the official here.
False start.
Oh, can you decline a false start?
Normally,
might have been an illegal formation, probably, or illegal shift.
A false start would have stopped the clock.
Yeah,
or stopped the play.
So it'll be a sack against Warmouth. Back to the 18-yard line, loses 2. And Roseburg will face 2nd and 12. Here in the third quarter. Clock running down to about 10 minutes to go. Quick pass, caught, and loss of yards again for Roseburg. Everything happening in the backfield on those down the line pass plays, and Sheldon just sniffing it out and stopping the Roseburg receivers immediately.
Well, what those are little bubble screens right there, and the receivers are supposed to hit and pick up a block right there. And Sheldon, cornerback secondary, is way too athletic for these Roseburg receivers, and they're not even being able to lay a hand on to get a block on them before they're there to hit the ball carrier.
So Roseburg now facing 3rd down and 13. Actually, make it 14. They've been going the wrong direction here. Warmouth with Mandera to his right in the backfield. Blitz coming. They go on a quick slant. It's picked off and taken back to the house. An interception, pick 6 for Sheldon. It's Jacob Frey who will score. And penalty flags coming out all over the place. There's a penalty flag in the end zone. There's one in the middle of the field.
Cleared.
Yeah, you cannot have your entire team race to the end zone to celebrate. And Sheldon doesn't seem like they care about the penalties at all.
Oh, the coach cared. He was pretty upset about it, but
penalty flags are coming out there. Likely a sideline infraction. Yeah, an unsportsmanlike penalty against Sheldon after the touchdown. Pick 6 for Sheldon. It was Jacob Frey that takes it to the house. First interception for Colin Warmouth since week 2 of the season. And that'll put Sheldon up really big pending the extra point here. The PAT, it looks like Roseburg will enforce the penalty on the kickoff as Khartoum will put it through, 42-0. We'll take a quick break. Roseburg trailing, looking to try and get some positive momentum going here in the second half on 1490 The Score.
It's easy to spot people who participated in high school sports and activities.
Right on time.
They learned important lessons like leadership, teamwork, respect.
Hey, our meeting moved to 10.
We'll be ready.
Values that last a lifetime.
We need to focus on 3 factors.
Support high school sports and activities in your community. When kids take part, they get set for life.
They'll mark off the 15-yard penalty for the kickoff, and Jay Gartube will be kicking from the 25 for Sheldon. Roseburg's Colin Warmouth his 5th interception of the season thrown. First one that I believe was returned for a pick 6. Tough one for him there. He has been so good with the football since week 2 of the season. But this Sheldon defense has just been all over the field. But do want to give credit. He has really brought down those interception numbers since last year when he threw 13 total. Kick's going to go to the 15 for Adams. Up the middle, Roseburg. Stood up just across the 30. Penalty flag out. And out to about the 35 for Adams before he is brought down, but a penalty flag right around the 37-yard line. And we'll wait to see what the flag is here as we get ready to start the possession for Roseburg, trailing 42-0.
Personal foul, Roseburg, or holding Roseburg, I mean.
And that holding penalty out about the 37, it looks like. And official talking with Riley Culberhouse, but it looks like Roseburg backing up. Like you said, a holding is the penalty. So they'll count it back to the 25, and that is where Roseburg will have the football to start this drive, trailing by 42. And if we're not careful, this one could get to a running clock here before too long. Score update from another game going on I-101 FM. Sutherland up 27-20 in the first half.
Yeah, I just had that.
Oh, okay. Did I spoil your fun there?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, bud. Offense out from the 25 for Roseburg. 1st and 10. Warmouth. Delay handoff to Mandera up the middle, and Zach will get out to the 30. He falls forward to the 31. Mandera, not a lot of running room tonight, but picks up 6 on that carry. And for Roseburg, you know that they're probably looking to pass down by 42, and they take advantage of that going on the delayed handoff up the middle.
Yeah, another score update that I didn't get to earlier at halftime for Douglas County was Bandits up on Reedsport 14-8.
Okay. 2nd down and about 4 to go. Safety drops back, cut at the line. They go a quick pass. It's to, I believe, Adams, the
no,
carry.
that's Zymet.
Nope. Yep, it is Zymet. Bursting down the field, he gets out to about the 33. And it'll make it 3rd down and 2 for Roseburg.
And right now, Roseburg really needs a first down. They've got to continue this clock running right now because Sheldon's up 42-0. You need to continue this clock, and you need a score at this point.
Calling in shotgun, looking to convert 3rd down and short. 4-man front for the Irish here. Doesn't look like they're sending anybody. It'll be a run for Mandera. The big back will pick up the first down as he spins his way out across the 40 to the 41, moves the chains and more.
Very big run by Mandera. Great job to pick up that first down for Roseburg. That last play during that time, the clock went out and came back on.
7:22 to go on the clock right now. Mandera picking up 8 on that carry. 3rd quarter action. Sheldon up big right now against Roseburg. Looks like our video stream is starting to make its way back into normal range, so hopefully that's good news if people are still trying to catch things there on our YouTube channel. If not, we will have this game archived so you can watch it back if you'd like to. Unfortunately, it's not the greatest game, and unfortunately, looking back out on the field, there was a penalty flag that escaped us, and Roseburg moving backwards at the end of the play. That must have been a personal foul against Roseburg. Dave Heiberger's out on the field trying to talk to the officials. Roseburg backed up to their own 26-yard line.
That had to be an unsportsmanlike
so that's
conduct.
A 15-yard penalty against Roseburg. So they do get the first down, but now they'll face 1st and 25.
And every single time Roseburg gets a penalty, especially in games like this, it ends up becoming a drive killer.
Well, this one's going to back them well back into their own territory. Now, I did not see what the personal foul was going to be called against.
I didn't even see the penalty flag on the play, but I could imagine what it could have been against.
Well, I imagine that Roseburg maybe getting a little chippy, down 42-0, and Sheldon maybe feeling a little confident, so might be a little feeling good about themselves out there. Coach Heiberger out there still having a conversation with one of the officials. Matthew Burgess comes out of
and the White Hats having a conversation here at the football, too.
Matthew Burgess comes out of the game for Sheldon. As in for him was Lane Shields. Sheldon mixing up their defensive players just a bit. Was trying to see earlier if I could get a spot on Gage Hill after he went out with an injury in the first half. But we'll keep trying to check and see if we can see him on the sideline over there, see what he might be looking like. See how serious things might look for the backup running back for Roseburg. All right, we're all settled. Actually, they make it 1st down and 10, so it's not 1st and 25. Quick pass out to Adams. He'll try to escape the defender. Gets him by his shoelace. Adams will pick up decent distance on first down, make it 2nd and 4 on the pickup. So instead of making it 1st down and 25, they made it 1st down and 10 back there. Now 2nd down and 4 for the Indians.
And that was the conversation that Heiberger was having with the referee at the time. And the referee was talking to the line judge and the back judge and everybody, trying to make sure that they got the markers correct.
6-yard pickup to Adams. His 3rd catch of the night. 2nd down and 4 in shotgun. Warmoth looking to his right. Has time. He goes on the slant route. It goes off the hands of 2 defenders for Sheldon. Trying to get it to Peyton Bryant, and the window closed way too quick for Warmoth.
And Carson Ellis at this point is not very happy with that throw. He throws his hands up like, what, really? He was wide open right here on this side of the field. He would have easily been able to pick up that 1st down, and Warmoth didn't even look at him.
So it'll bring up 3rd down and 4 now. Ball at the 32. Roseburg's half of the field. They've got to get it to the 36. Warmoth, the last possession, was picked off for a pick 6. Almost picked off again, trying to force it into a tight window. Clock stopped at 6:28 to go, 3rd quarter. Roseburg trailing 42-0, looking to pass. He'll go the short route to Stoner, incomplete. And it'll bring up 4th down for Roseburg.
And what really stinks about that, the last 2 plays have been incomplete passes, which has stopped the clock every single time. The last time I looked at the clock, it was 7 minutes and 30 seconds. They've only taken a little over a minute off the clock since that 1st down.
So Roseburg sends out the punt unit. Colin Warmoth has been getting plenty of action as the punter tonight. He'll set up, kicks this one away. A sky-high kick, not very deep. It'll take a bounce. That might have gone off of a Sheldon player. No, yeah, it might have, and I think Mendoza, that is Peter Mendoza, I believe. I think there's 2 of Josh Mendoza. That is right. He was, I think he was unaware that might have hit a Sheldon player, and he was standing over the top of it as Sheldon dove back on it. I think the Irish may have also just been diving on it to make sure that the officials didn't call it as a fair ball for either side.
That's happened twice now, where I think that Sheldon's touched the ball and Roseburg's defenders there are not trying to get on top of it.
Sheldon will come out with the ball at their own 39-yard line. Pass to the near side and into Roseburg territory. The Irish go. The ball just keeps moving downfield, even though there's a group of players around the ball carrier. And making the catch on that play, that was Klinko moving the ball downfield for Sheldon.
And right now, these Sheldon receivers and running back, but even the quarterback, they're juking all over the place, and they are showing so much misdirection that it's been really hard for this Roseburg defense to break down and try to make a tackle.
18 yards on that completion. Over 150 yards through the air now for Michael Johnson Jr. He moves a man in across the line from right to left, handed off to Shields out of the backfield. Met head on, I think, with Ethan Stoner on that one, and Stoner knocks him out of bounds. They get up, and they kind of mutual acknowledgement on a hard hit from both sides there, as Shields will pick up just about a yard on 1st down.
Yeah, Ethan Stoner, it looked like they kind of agreed with it, kind of respect towards each other, but Brelage was sitting there pushing him back and making sure he kind of stopped talking right afterwards.
2nd down and 9 for the Irish. Moving in motion, man from left to right, handed off out of the backfield. Shields running left side, slips through a tackle, loses a shoe, and he'll go down close to the 1st down marker inside the 35. And the ball carrier getting stripped of his shoe as he slipped through a tackle. So the ball down to the 32 as they move the chains.
And last year what we saw is that the 2nd and 3rd string Sheldon players were coming in by this point of the ball game, and so far we're not seeing that. tonight.
Well, Shields is the backup running back, so we've started to see some changes there. But other than that, yeah, still a lot of the regular starters out there. Pierce Ewing will come in the backfield to take over for Shields, who lost his shoe, has to go put it back on. Pass out to the far side of the field, caught, weaving through traffic. Still up on his feet as a flag comes out on the far side.
It's going to be a block in the back again on Warmouth. Not Warmouth, but Sheldon defender sitting there blocking Warmouth in the back. So this should be going back.
The pass was complete to Jack Folsom, but we'll see where the penalty will take this football. It is a hold. And the penalty was at the 25, so they'll move it back to the 35. So it was a pickup of 7 on the play, and then the penalty flag, bringing it back 10 yards. First down and 13. Fake the handoff, keeper for Johnson, and he got swallowed up quickly by the Roseburg defense. He gets just back to make it second down and 10 at about the 32-yard line. I believe Colton Jordan coming in and helped make the stop.
Was it Colton or was it number 65, Clayton Brelich?
I thought I saw 62, but I think it Brelich on the other side of the line, probably. I think I'm going to say Colton Jordan. Got it back to the start of the sticks there, so from the 35 down to the 32, a pickup of 3 for Johnson. He's looking to pass to his left. Going to go over the middle. Has a man there. It's caught to the end zone. Touchdown, Sheldon. And the Irish get another score. This time it is Zach Folsom on the catch.
And right there, that's Warmouth's spot to play. And because Sheldon has been playing that run so much, it gets that safety. It got Warmouth to move up and kind of stack that box. By doing that, you're going to open up that middle and you're going to allow a receiver by you, and that's what's going to happen is you're going to get a decent catch and most likely, like there, a touchdown.
Well, the clock continues to run as we've hit the – oh, now they'll stop it. I believe since it's the second half and we've got more than the 45-point lead, we've hit the running clock margin. But they do call a timeout or they stop it here.
I think it has to be after the kick, though.
Yeah, that might have been. It looks like they might have called the timeout down on the field, so we wait for the extra point. 3:50 is where they scored the touchdown here in the third quarter. And it is 48-0 pending the extra point. Roseburg football tonight brought to you by Cascade Community Credit Union, belong to Douglas County. And by I-5RV. Visit I-5RV and find your new adventure for as low as 0% down and $149 a month. I-5RV in Sutherland. Irish coming back out for the PAT. .32-yard touchdown pass there for Johnson to Zach Folsom. That's the third touchdown pass of the night for Michael Johnson Jr. Nearing 200 yards passing on the night. The PAT. Kick is away and good.
Well, I'm surprised there wasn't a penalty right there.
PAT goes through. We'll have the kickoff coming up. Sheldon on top, 49-0 over the Roseburg Indians. Back after this 30-second break on 1490 The Score.
You are watching live broadcast coverage of Roseburg football on 541radio.com. This game is proudly sponsored by
Roseburg Disposal, Tim's Appliance, Cooper's Pest Control, Umpqua Dairy, Fisher's Hearth and Home, Cascade Community Credit Union, Douglas County Farmers Co-op, Supercuts, Good Vibrations, and also Chuck Swarman Family Auto Repair.
Roseburg football here on 1490 The Score and streaming online at 541radio.com is brought to you by DC Farmers Co-op, where everyone's welcome to shop, and by Good Vibration Solutions for home theater and automotive audio. You can feel it at Good Vibes. 3:41 and the clock has started to run here as we kick things off. Roseburg down 49-0 against Sheldon. Kick is away, taking it inside the 5 is Peyton Bryant. He'll bring it up the middle, tries to revert back to his right as he goes across the 20 and is taken down at the 22. Roseburg will start their clock running and down big here, so we'll have the running clock unless Roseburg can get it back underneath the 45-point margin here in this second half.
Well, I got another score update for you right now. The Dodgers against the Brewers in the NLCS. Brewers are winning 6-2 in the 8th.
That would even up the series, I do believe.
It would. Dodgers are ahead 3-2 right now.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking, something like that. So, all right. Force a game 7.
Yes.
Roseburg with the football at their own 22. Colin Warmoth in, looking to pass. He's going to go way downfield. He's got Adams behind the defender. Did he bring it in? No! Just goes out of his hands at the last moment in coverage downfield for Sheldon. Gunnar Robinson, he was able to catch up a little bit, but Warmoth showing off the big arm and Adams showing off that downfield speed.
That's a really, really good arm right there by Warmoth, showing off how far he could throw. Oh, and Adam, I like that play call. It's a risky play call, but you're either going to put it where Adams could get it, maybe an interception, but most likely an incompletion.
Well, and at this point, down 49-0, you don't have a lot to lose. Second down and 10. Roseburg will hand it off. It's Mandera running over the far side of the formation. He'll get out to the 30. They spot him at the 31, still on his feet. He'll get out to the 32. Maybe they do give him the 33, and that'll move the chains.
Wow, now this is time that you get to see where he didn't stop. His legs moving. Got some help by his offensive line to come in and get that extra push to get that first down.
This game's going to start moving real quick, down to 1:33 to go. Clock not stopping for anything other than timeouts or injury timeouts.
Or penalties.
It may not even stop then.
No, it does stop for penalties.
Okay. It did not stop on the incompletion as they keep things running here. Warmoth now with a 1st and 10 will set up in the backfield with Mandera to his left, moves Bryan in motion left to right. Right to left. Running the ball is Mandera across the 35. Out to about the 37.
And very, very dangerous running the ball. As you can see, as he's trying to come down, he's trying to use a hand to get people off of him. Well, that only leaves one hand on the ball, and Sheldon could easily strip that ball away from him.
They do put it out to the 37-yard line, so pickup of 4 on the ground there for Mandera. Clock down to 35 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Second down and 6 for Roseburg. Trying to get something on the board. It looks like many of the starters starting to come out of this ball game for Sheldon. Keeper for Mandera will go on the pass. He's got it to Bryant at the 50. He'll cross midfield into Sheldon territory as he's taken down at the 42-yard line. He'll move the chains, and this will likely end the third quarter. Roseburg trailing 49-0 as we get ready to start the fourth. And they'll see if Roseburg can just get some points on the board and avoid their first shutout of the year. Head to the fourth quarter after this 60-second break here on CBS Sports Radio, 1490 The Score.
You are watching live broadcast coverage of Roseburg football on 541radio.com. This game is proudly sponsored by
Roseburg Disposal, Tim's Appliance, Cooper's Pest Control, Umpqua Dairy, Fisher's Hearth and Home, Cascade Community Credit Union, Douglas County Farmers Co-op, Supercut, Good Vibrations, and also Chuck Swarman Family Auto Repair.
At Brook Communications, our job is to get results for your business, period. We can take your story and tell it to the people you want to reach in a way that compels first-time clients to become repeat customers. We get them through your door so you can do what you were meant to do. Proclaim your sales message to the largest audience of any media company in Douglas County. Brook Communications dominates through the power of 5 radio stations and 541radio.com. Results amplified. Locally owned. Brook Communications.
12 minutes up on the board. Unless Roseburg gets a score, we may have a very quick fourth quarter coming up. In fact, they start the clock at the whistle. First down and 10 for Roseburg at the Sheldon 42. They trail 49-0 as we start the fourth quarter. Quick in route for D'Angelo Adams is caught and down to the 26-yard line. And that'll be another first down for Roseburg as they are moving down the field here against the Irish. But again, starting to see second stringers coming out for Sheldon.
And is it 45 points?
45 point is the margin.
So if Roseburg scores here, the clock's going back to stopping.
I believe so.
An interesting thing here, I was watching the clock, I was watching the time before halftime, and we got the first quarter and second quarter done in an hour.
I know, it went really quick.
And now we're looking at the start of the fourth quarter, and it almost took between halftime and now almost took an hour. It's 8:54 right now.
Well, we may be done by 9:15 if the clock continues to run like it is right now. 11 minutes to go. Handoff. It is running right side. Ethan Stoner going nowhere. He'll be right back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the carry.
But my point of bringing that up was that that third quarter took a very, very long time to get through. And I'm not 100% sure why, because there was only 3 penalties in the third quarter.
There's a few scores. That'll help stop the clock. And there were some lengthy penalties where we had some time to take to talk. And an extended halftime for homecoming as well. Put the ball back at the 27, so it actually lost a yard there for Stoner. Now up the middle, Stoner breaking free. He's going to gain plenty of yardage. Makes up that one loss of yard as he takes it inside the 10. It'll be first and goal for Roseburg.
And it's good. That was a very, very good run by Stoner, and it's like the Red Seas parted right there. Big old hole for him to run through, and he just needed to get by him about 2 other guys to get that touchdown, but he just was not able to.
Ethan Stoner picking up 19 on that carry. That's more than yards than he had coming into the season on the ground. Had come in only with 8 carries in the season, so not very many for him coming into the matchup. He sets up as the deep man in the pistol, running right side. He's going to try and bounce it out, but he won't escape the defense, taken back. He'll actually get 1 yard on that play, down to the 7. Able to just squeak out something.
That was his mistake there because his fullback went up into that B gap on the right side of that line, and he actually picked up his block, the fullback did, and he would have been able to pick up a couple yards if he would have followed the fullback like that play was designed to do, but he didn't. He tried to bounce it outside, and instead he didn't really pick up anything.
The fullback is Jeremy Mendoza, who's come into the game. Looks like they're letting Zach Mandera have a rest after spending a lot of time out there at the running back position. Running with the ball, now going to pass it down the line. Warmouth will get the pass away, and
it's to Bryant.
It was to Bryant, who's pushed out of bounds down inside the 5 to about the 3-yard line.
And I don't know if right now you go for the touchdown or you go for the 3 points to keep the clock going.
Well, I said the 3. It looks like they only give him the 5.
Oh, and it's only 3rd down. I was thinking it was 4th down already.
So that was a pickup of 2 for Warmouth through the air to Bryant. Bryant has 7 catches on the night. It is 3rd down and goal from the 5 for Roseburg. Trying to put any points on the board right now, and I imagine it is 4-down territory. Stoner to the left of Warmouth. Low snap. It's going to be a keeper for Warmouth, and he's able to find his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Roseburg. They will avoid the shutout as they score with 7:56 to go here in the fourth quarter. They haven't put the points up on the board yet, and there they are. And I'm seeing Matt Binkert, the athletic director for Sheldon, saying keep the clock running. So the clock continues to run here, even though Roseburg has cut it down to a 43-point game. Apparently, the athletic director saying keep it going.
Well, and that probably comes down to Roseburg's idea and Sheldon's to continue to run the clock, because Sheldon wouldn't have the choice to just run the clock unless it was agreed upon by Roseburg.
So they stopped the clock after the PAT at 7:20. So I guess maybe we'll stop it here. Maybe it keeps running once the kickoff's on. It seems like everybody seems to have a different interpretation of how this rule is supposed to go. So we'll just keep it going here and let you know. We'll take a quick 30-second break. Roseburg down 49-7 here in the fourth quarter on CBS Sports Radio 1490 The Score.
You're watching live broadcast coverage of Roseburg football on 541radio.com. This game is proudly sponsored by
Abby's Legendary Pizza, Travel Leaders Flyaway Travel, I-5 RV, Mahalo Heating and Air Conditioning, and Pepsi Bigfoot Beverages of Roseburg.
Find the live sports broadcast schedule updated each week at 541radio.com.
Back here in the fourth quarter, 7:20 to go. Roseburg finally on the board. It's a touchdown run by Colin Warmoth from 5 yards out for Colin this season. That is his 7th rushing touchdown. The PAT was good from Peyton Bryant as he continues to stay perfect on the season from PATs. And now Bryant gets ready to kick it away as Sheldon will return the ball left to right. Fourth quarter actions brought to you tonight by Mahalo Heating and Cooling, your best choice for the finest indoor comfort control. Call them at 672-6707. Kick is away from Bryant, angled towards the sideline, and it will stay in bounds at the 4 and return not very far for Sheldon as they will start deep in their own territory. And the Irish will send the offense out. The clock now, once the kickoff is away, clock continues to run as we're under 7 minutes.
All right, here is a very interesting score update here in Southwest Conference. Kind of talking about that tiebreaker rule thing and stuff. It may not end up coming down to that. South Medford at Grants Pass. South Medford is losing to Grants Pass 21-7 at the end of the third, and that actually really surprises me. I know you had talked about it on the way down that you thought that South Medford could beat Grants Pass, and then it ends up in the tie with Grants Pass, North Medford, and us.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the tiebreaker scenario we talked about earlier, it only comes into play if South Medford beats Grants Pass tonight. If Grants Pass wins, then things are kind of shaken up. First down run for Sheldon. Goes for a couple of yards. The ball carrier, Lane Shields, takes it out to the 19-yard line. Shields a little slow to get up. Picks up 4. So clock continuing to run. This game's going to be over here before we know it probably. And going to be one of our fastest games of the season. Unfortunately, I'd much rather be in a tight one and going very late. But unfortunately, that's not the way tonight's game has gone. 5:28 in counting in the backfield. Sheldon. They got the new quarterback in there as well. He'll keep it running over the right side. Running over the left side. Stays in bounds and goes down about 1 yard pickup out to the 21.
And it was Elijah Norris with the tackle, number 43 for Roseburg.
Griffin Line, the son of the head coach Josh Line, started the first 2 games of the season for Sheldon with Michael Johnson Jr. nursing a shoulder injury. Did a pretty good job navigating the waters for this Sheldon team. Now the backup quarterback with Johnson Jr. back, but Line, a junior, will likely be the future of this program coming up next year. He turns and hands it off to the new man out of the backfield running and weaving back to the middle of the formation, the middle of the field there. Out to the 30-yard line carrying the football is Pierce Ewing. So Ewing, another third man out there for Sheldon in the backfield, carries the ball out to the 32.
And right now I think Sheldon's pretty much content with running this clock running the ball, just trying to get a first down here and there and try to end this ball game now.
Ewing picked up 11 on that carry. Line in shotgun with Ewing to his right. Fakes the handoff to him. He's going to run to the right around the tackle. He'll get to the 40, lowers himself down to Garrett Zimet, who brings him down at the 42-yard line.
And Garrett Zimet was not afraid to meet him at all. He met him, lowered his head, hit him square in the chest and brought him up and tackled him. It was a pretty good, decent tackle by Zimet there.
Oh, it's not before Line was able to pick up 10 yards and move the chain on that carry. 42 is where the ball sits, 1st and 10 for Sheldon. Quarterback in the shotgun, gets it off to Ewing, running left side, stretching it a ways out there. Penalty flag comes out from the near side. Ball went away from the official that throws the flag. We'll see what this one, I'm imagining it could be in the area of holding.
It looks like the white hat pointed towards Roseburg. I'd be very surprised here if this goes on Roseburg.
Flag was down at the 42, which was the line of scrimmage on 1st and 10. The ball got out to the 44 on the run, and it is against Roseburg. Hear the call.
Clipping
the call, huh? Okay.
So that's a 10-yard penalty.
Official didn't give us much help on that one, but so the ball went to the 44 on the run by Ewing, and now they'll pass it out to the near side here, still on his feet, Ben Melhoff.
And another penalty on the play.
Melhoff was taken down for a loss back to the 48-yard line.
And they're not stopping it for penalties. The clock is not stopping for penalties. Oh, head-to-head penalty on Roseburg, helmet-to-helmet, 15-yard penalty.
So the personal foul will be another 15 yards.
And I didn't see that because that tackle happened right there in front of us, and I did not see a helmet-to-helmet. I saw a helmet hit a chest, but no helmet-to-helmet.
So the ball goes down to the 32-yard line. And Sheldon getting some help from Roseburg here to finish this one off, down to a minute and a half to go. 49-7 the score. We've had a running clock for much of this second half. And this one's about to go final for us here from Sheldon High School. Line in shotgun, turns and hands it. And actually, it might be a new man out there. Rise Messner, a junior, getting a chance to lead the offense. Hands off the ball on the first down carry. And we'll see what we do here in the final 60 seconds of this ball game as the ball got down to the 30 on the run play. Pickup of 2. And the quarterback's even directing the guys on the offense. These guys aren't really sure where to be. Michael Shear in the backfield, the senior running back. Fumble on the snap. Messner, the quarterback, picks it up. He'll try to make something happen, and he'll lose yardage. Back to the 35, and we're down to 18 seconds to go, and that should wrap it up.
Yep, that's going to be it. The coaches are telling Sheldon to come on in and get ready. Students over here on our left are getting ready to walk down out on the field as well.
Well, that's going to do it, folks. Your final score will be 49-7. Sheldon wins. The Irish dominant tonight. And if South Medford does in fact lose, well, I think it doesn't quite clinch a conference victory yet for the Irish, but they are honing in on it and will not need much more.
Irish has to beat Grants Pass.
Yep, that'll be the next matchup for them. And if Grants Pass wins tonight, they'll come in 2-1. And an upset against Sheldon would give Grants Pass a conference title if they hang on to beat South Medford tonight. Otherwise, could be
South
could be
Medford.
Sheldon's that to have,
yeah.
because Sheldon's already beaten South Medford, so even if they finish tied, Sheldon would have the head-to-head tiebreaker against the Panthers. A lot to talk about as we get ready for the post-game show. 49-7, your final score. Back with the Roseburg Disposal post-game show after this here on 1490 The Score.
This is Roseburg Football Online at 541radio.com. Thanks for tuning in to this week's game. Here's a look at what's coming up for the Roseburg Indians. Find the live sports broadcast schedule updated each week at 541radio.com.
It's easy to spot people who participated in high school sports and activities.
Right on time.
They learned important lessons like leadership, teamwork, respect.
Hey, our meeting moved to 10.
We'll be ready.
Values that last a lifetime.
We need to focus on 3 factors.
Support high school sports and activities in your community. When kids take part, they get set for life.
You are watching live broadcast coverage of Roseburg football on 541radio.com. This game is proudly sponsored by
Roseburg Disposal, Tim's Appliance, Cooper's Pest Control, Umpqua Dairy, Fisher's Hearth and Home, Cascade Community Credit Union, Douglas County Farmers Co-op, Supercut, Good Vibrations, and also Chuck Swarman Family Auto Repair.
At Brook Communications, our job is to get results for your business, period. We can take your story and tell it to the people you want to reach in a way that compels first-time clients to become repeat customers. We get them through your door so you can do what you were meant to do. Proclaim your sales message to the largest audience of any media company in Douglas County. Brook Communications dominates through the power of 5 radio stations and 541radio.com. Results amplified. Locally owned. Brook Communications.
This is Roseburg Football Online at 541radio.com. Thanks for tuning in to this week's game. Here's a look at what's coming up for the Roseburg Indians. Find the live sports broadcast schedule updated each week at 541radio.com.
It's easy to spot people who participated in high school sports and activities.
Right on time.
They learned important lessons like leadership, teamwork, respect.
Hey, our meeting moved to 10.
We'll be ready.
Values that last a lifetime.
We need to focus on 3 factors.
Support high school sports and activities in your community. When kids take part, they get set for life.
You are watching live.
Back here for your Roseburg Disposal post-game show. Let them make the run to the dump for you. Roseburg Disposal, call them at 673-7122. Final score tonight, 49-7. The Roseburg Indians fall against the Sheldon Irish, who improved to 3-0 in conference play, 6-2 overall for Roseburg. They'll fall to 2-6 and 1-3 in Southwest Conference play as Roseburg wraps up the conference season, and now we'll get ready to begin their non-conference, finish out their non-conference slate and have homecoming night coming up next week as they wrap up the regular season and then hope for a postseason berth coming up after that. It's the Roseburg Disposal postgame show. We got plenty to talk about here tonight. Final score again, 49-7 in favor of the Sheldon Irish. It was all Sheldon in the first half, led 28-0 in that first half. Michael Johnson Jr. had a touchdown run and a touchdown pass to Patrick Herbert from 47 yards out. Matthew Burgess, the running back, had a 4-yard touchdown run. Lane Shields, the backup running back, had a 9-yard touchdown run in that first half. In the second half, Sheldon scoring in the third quarter 3 times to get it to a running clock. The first one, a touchdown pass from Johnson Jr., finding Jack Folsom from 6 yards out. Then it was a pick six for Sheldon, and picking off Colin Warmouth was Jacob Frey, and returning it to the house for a 42-0 score, and then wrapping it up, the scoring in the third quarter, and wrapping up the scoring for Sheldon, Johnson Jr. finding Zach Folsom from 32 yards out. Made it 49-0. Roseburg with the running clock in the fourth quarter gets a score finally. It comes on a 5-yard touchdown run by Colin Warmouth. And that is your scoring recap for tonight's action. Josh, as we look at it, not the game we were hoping for the Roseburg Indians here tonight, as we wanted to see them close the gap. Last year, they lost 34-0. Tonight, they lose by 42. They do get some points on the board. It comes in mop-up time. Just not the showing for Roseburg tonight. You were saying on the way up here, you thought this Sheldon team was better than the team we saw last year. They've got weapons all over the field. Just a tough task for the Roseburg Indians here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. This team, I know everybody's talking about closing the gap. In the Southwest Conference, Roseburg, from what we've seen, Southwest Conference play is over now for Roseburg. So what we have seen is Roseburg has closed the gap in the Southwest Conference. What we saw tonight does not dictate what Roseburg did in the Southwest Conference. Tonight, you had you had Johnson Jr., you have Herbert, you have some Division I football players on this team for next year that are going to go play at the University of Oregon and Penn State University. I mean, to get to Penn State University is huge. So, and even to the University of Oregon. But you watch Herbert from last year to this year showed quite a bit of improvement. He was able to get up and get balls, and I was wondering if that was going to happen, if he could actually do that. Last year I wasn't impressed by Herbert as much as I was tonight. He did fly all over the field, and he is probably faster than he was last year. Johnson Jr., second year here at Sheldon, he's made the most of it. He did go from number 3 dual threat quarterback last year to number 7, and I think it's because of what you saw last year. Last year, he didn't impress me very much at all. This year, he's elusive. He's able to trick around. He's able to read a defense. Very, very good quarterback. So, Roseburg, all the cards were stacked against them in this game, but Roseburg did a great job at coming through. And it does nothing but get these guys better, get them ready for Canby. They could have used it as a practice, learned what they messed up on. They're going to get to see a bunch of tape. They're going to see where they messed up. They know where they messed up. But at the same time, like I have said, this does not dictate Roseburg closing the gap in Southwest Conference. We saw Roseburg do it this last year. And right now we're in a conversation talking about Roseburg has a chance of being tied for third. And next year, I think Roseburg has a conversation. They very well could be up there at maybe number 1. You never know, because Sheldon's going to lose a lot of these guys come next year. So the conference is going to be up for grab. This is a very good Sheldon team. They deserve every bit to be ranked number 3 in the OSAA power rankings by all means. They are that good. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't go deep in the playoffs and maybe even get a state championship this year.
Well, that is the goal for the Irish as they win 49-7 here tonight. When we come back, we'll take a look at your final stat update brought to you by Umpqua Community. Let's get it right. Umpqua Dairy. That is the easiest one, and I can't seem to get it right. Umpqua Dairy will have your stat update coming up for you, plus your Abby's Legendary Pizza, legendary player of the game for Roseburg tonight. The game has been brought to you by Mahalo Heating and Cooling, your best choice for the finest indoor comfort control, and by Flyaway Travel. Contact their travel experts for your travel plans, now located at 1445 West Harvard Avenue in Roseburg. Back after this break here with more of the Roseburg Disposal Postgame Show on CBS Sports Radio 1490 The Score.
This is Roseburg Football Online at 541radio.com. Thanks for tuning in to this week's game. Here's a look at what's coming up for the Roseburg Indians. Find the live sports broadcast schedule updated each week at 541radio.com.
It's easy to spot people who participated in high school sports and activities.
Right on time.
They learned important lessons like leadership, teamwork, respect.
Hey, our meeting moved to 10.
We'll be ready.
Values that last a lifetime.
We need to focus on 3 factors.
Support high school sports and activities in your community. When kids take part, they get set for life.
You're watching live broadcast coverage of Roseburg football on 541radio.com. This game is proudly sponsored by
Roseburg Disposal, Tim's Appliance, Cooper's Pest Control, Umpqua Dairy, Fisher's Hearth and Home, Cascade Community Credit Union, Douglas County Farmers Co-op, Supercut, Good Vibrations, and also Chuck Swarman Family Auto Repair.
At Brook Communications, our job is to get results for your business, period. We can take your story and tell it to the people you want to reach in a way that compels first-time clients to become repeat customers. We get them through your door so you can do what you were meant to do. Proclaim your sales message to the largest audience of any media company in Douglas County. Brook Communications dominates through the power of 5 radio stations and 541radio.com. Results amplified. Locally owned. Brook Communications.
You're watching live broadcast coverage of Roseburg football on 541radio.com. This game is proudly sponsored by
Abby's Legendary Pizza, Travel Leaders Flyaway Travel, I-5 RV, Mahalo Heating and Air Conditioning, and Pepsi Bigfoot Beverages of Roseburg.
Find the live sports broadcast schedule updated each week at 541radio.com.
Swimming season is finally here. But remember, respect the water. Don't swim and don't go in the water if it's under 60 degrees. Swimming in water under 60 degrees is life-threatening. It could cause hypothermia, which means your limbs paralyzed and you can't get out of the water. Each day, the water temperature of the Umpqua River will be posted on kpic.com and kval.com, and in the morning weather on KPIC. Respect the water. Know the temperature. Brought to you by the Respect the Water Safety Committee.
Back here in the post-game show, brought to you by Roseburg Disposal. Joey Kieran, Josh Nelson with you back in the studio, running things on the radio side is Cruz Ibanez. Tonight's game been brought to you by Pepsi and Bigfoot Beverages of Roseburg. Well, time to look at our Umpqua Dairy stat update for Roseburg tonight. A tough one as they fall 49-7. For Colin Warmoth, he ended up with 21 passing attempts. And let's see here. So he finished 14 of 21 through the air, 96 yards, no touchdowns, 1 interception, his first since week 2. Zach Mandera, 11 carries tonight, finished with 49 yards on the ground. Colin Warmoth had 42 yards rushing, 8 carries. He did have he's got actually 47 yards rushing as he had a fourth quarter touchdown. And Gage Hill had 1 carry for 6 yards. Did not get a glimpse of him on the sideline to find out how bad his injury might have been. Ethan Stoner had 4 carries for 20 yards. D'Angelo Adams 1 carry for 3 yards. Payne Bryant had 7 catches, 33 yards. Garrett Zimet 2 catches, 37 yards. D'Angelo Adams 4 catches for 25 yards. For Sheldon, Michael Johnson Jr. finished with 11 passing attempts, went 9 for 11, 195 yards, 3 touchdowns in the game, no interceptions. Johnson connecting with Patrick Herbert 4 times for 102 yards and 1 score. Braden Klinko had 1 catch, 18 yards. Jack Folsom, 2 catches, 13 yards, 1 touchdown. Zach Folsom had 1 catch for 32 yards and a touchdown. And Matthew Burgess, 1 catch for 30 yards. On the ground, a lot of ball carriers tonight for Sheldon. Matthew Burgess, 11 carries, 139 yards, and 1 score. Johnson Jr., 6 carries, 45 yards, 1 score. Let's see here. Lane Shields had 4 carries, 24 yards, and a score. Griffin Line came in at quarterback late. He gets 2 carries, 12 yards. Pierce Ewing, 2 carries, 13 yards. And a couple of other players. Let's see here. Michael Shear had 1 carry for 2 yards. And backup quarterback Rise Messner had 1 carry, losing 5 yards. That is a look at your Umpqua Dairy stat update here tonight. We'll go ahead and take one final break. We'll come back. Josh putting together some final scores for you, and we'll wrap things up on the Roseburg Disposal postgame show. And we'll get you some scoreboard updates, as well as name our Abby's Legendary Pizza Legendary Player of the Game. Back after this here on CBS Sports Radio 1490 The Score.
This is Roseburg Football Online at 541radio.com. Thanks for tuning in to this week's game. Here's a look at what's coming up for the Roseburg Indians. Find the live sports broadcast schedule updated each week at 541radio.com.
It's easy to spot people who participated in high school sports and activities.
Right on time.
They learned important lessons like leadership, teamwork, respect.
Hey, our meeting moved to 10.
We'll be ready.
Values that last a lifetime.
We need to focus on 3 factors.
Support high school sports and activities in your community. When kids take part, they get set for life.
You are watching live broadcast coverage of Roseburg football on 541radio.com. This game is proudly sponsored by
Roseburg Disposal, Tim's Appliance, Cooper's Pest Control, Umpqua Dairy, Fisher's Hearth and Home, Cascade Community Credit Union, Douglas County Farmers Co-op, Supercuts, Good Vibrations, and also Chuck Swarman Family Auto Repair.
At Brook Communications, our job is to get results for your business, period. We can take your story and tell it to the people you want to reach in a way that compels first-time clients to become repeat customers. We get them through your door so you can do what you were meant to do. Proclaim your sales message to the largest audience of any media company in Douglas County. Brook Communications dominates through the power of 5 radio stations and 541radio.com. Results amplified. Locally owned. Brook Communications.
Back here to wrap things up as the Sheldon Band plays us off here tonight from Sheldon High School. Final score 49-7, the Roseburg Disposal postgame show. Let them make the run to the dump for you. That's Roseburg Disposal. Give them a call at 673-7122. Here in the postgame show, we always have our Abby's Legendary Pizza Legendary Player of the Game to name for you here tonight. And tonight we give it to Colin Warmouth. The quarterback had about 47 yards rushing tonight, had a decent night passing. The one interception, of course, not great, but he did have a pretty decent completion percentage. Gets near 100 yards throwing through the air tonight, and he did score the 1 touchdown. So,
well, and as you said last year, Warmouth had 13 interceptions last season. This season, he's only had 5, and he has 1 game left.
Yep.
So Warmouth has done a tremendous job at getting better. His arm is stronger. He can throw further down the field. He's doing a great job at leading this Roseburg team, which has some missing pieces right now. And he's doing the best that he can with the offense that he has. So he deserves every bit of praise that he can get whenever he can get it. So he definitely deserves player of the game. He did do a great job on that read option tonight and then being able to get that touchdown.
So Colin Warmouth, our Abby's Legendary Pizza Legendary Player of the Game. Let's go ahead and take some time here in the postgame show to take a look at the scoreboard, other games going on around the Umpqua Basin and areas of note. Josh, what kind of scores have you been able to put together? I know we finished pretty early, so not a lot of other games quite done as of yet, but it sounds like you've got a few scores to report.
Yeah, I do got some scores. Pleasant Hill is at Sutherland, and Sutherland is leading 33-20 in the fourth quarter was the last update I had on that one. Then I have, it looks like, Oak Ridge at Yoncalla. Yoncalla did win this game. It is a final 42-22.
Nice.
Mapleton at Elkton. That one was at 3 o'clock. Ended earlier today. Elkton did win this one 78-36. Then I have Lowell at North Douglas. I haven't had an update on this since the first quarter, and North Douglas was trailing Lowell 24-20 in the first quarter. Glendale at Days Creek. This one is a final. Days Creek did beat Glendale 60-30. And then the last time I had a report for Reedsport was at halftime. And it was Bandon 14, Reedsport 8. And then Southwest Conference, big upset tonight. Grants Pass beat South Medford 28-7, and that is the final score. So that three-way tie that we did talk about tonight will not exist.
Yeah, that is not a possibility with Grants Pass losing to South Medford.
Beating South Medford.
Excuse me, Grants Pass beating South Medford tonight. So that most likely means that Roseburg will have to get into the postseason, as we kind of expected, but they'll have to get into the postseason as an at-large team. We'll wait to see how the rankings kind of work out after tonight. Obviously lost to the number 3 team in the state in the power rankings. So the hope is that will not hurt their rankings too much. But we'll see how things go there. And then Roseburg next week, a game against Canby. I don't know if you probably didn't see any scores against Canby out there.
I have Canby down as that upcoming game for Roseburg homecoming next week. I haven't seen any scores for Canby yet. I did look for them. Another score, UCC Riverhawks volleyball tonight. UCC did get swept by Clark 3-0. In that. And then for Major League Baseball, NLCS is going to Game 7. Brewers beat the Dodgers 7-2, so there is going to be a Game 7 elimination game between the Brewers and Dodgers, and I believe that is tomorrow night.
All right, the winner of that one moves on to face the Boston Red Sox in the World Series.
So the other games that we did have going on in the Umpqua Valley today was St. Mary's Medford at South Umpqua. I don't have a score for that game. Douglas at Hidden Valley, don't have a score for that one. The Umpqua Valley game of the week, Glide at Toledo. Central Lynn at Oakland. Butte Falls, Crater Lake Charter at Riddle. And then tomorrow is Myrtle Point at Camas Valley. That game's at 1 o'clock in Camas Valley. So if you have nothing going on, head on down to Camas Valley and watch Camas Valley play. And then the other score for tonight that I didn't have for Southwest Conference was Aloha at North Medford. And, of course, Roseburg's playing Canby in the homecoming next week at Oregon City. And I haven't got a score for that one yet either.
All right. Well, we'll definitely be watching the scoreboard and updating you on things online at 541radio.com. Coming up for the Sheldon Irish, they will wrap up conference play next week here at home against Grants Pass. They need one more win to secure that undefeated conference season and win this year's Southwest Conference title. For the Roseburg Indians next week, as Josh just mentioned, they'll be at home for homecoming in the final game of the regular season, hosting Canby as they look to try and finish out the season with a win, get to 3-6, much like they did last year, and see if they can sneak into the postseason, unlike they did last year. So that's what's coming up in the future for the Roseburg Indians. A lot of positives to hopefully take away from this one. I know everybody expected this one to be a tough one coming into it against the Sheldon Irish, but one positive for you to take away from this one, looking forward to that final game of the regular season, Josh.
The positive that I'd have to take away from this, is probably watching how Roseburg didn't really get chippy. They didn't let the Sheldon get to him too much. Penalty-wise, I think they only had like 6 penalties the entire game. So just being able to play a clean game against a Sheldon team that's going to try to get into your head, Roseburg didn't let that happen, and they came out and they tried to play their football.
All righty. I'd say, definitely the fact that they never seemed to give in this one and that Roseburg came out, just tried to play their game. Unfortunately, tonight against a talented Sheldon team, it did not quite work out. We want to wrap things up here. We want to say a big thank you to Matt Binkard and head coach Josh Line for the Sheldon Irish for inviting us up here and welcoming us in here tonight for the broadcast. A big thanks to them for helping us get set up. As always, want to say thanks to Athletic Director Russ Bolin, head coach Dave Heiberger, and the entire Roseburg Indians football program for allowing us to bring you another season of Roseburg football here on 1490 The Score and streaming online at 541radio.com. I want to say thanks to Josh Nelson for running the camera tonight and providing the analysis tonight here in the booth. And thanks back in the studio to Cruz Ibanez for running things on the radio side. To myself, I'm Joey Keyran. We hope that you will tune in next Friday night when the Roseburg Indians wrap up the conference or regular season when they host the Canby Cougars. They look to try and finish things off with the win and hopefully turn that into a playoff run this season. The kickoff will be coming up at 7 o'clock next Friday night for homecoming. We hope you tune in for pregame coverage starting at 6:45. You can find the game streaming online at 541radio.com, or as always, tune in for Roseburg football here on Douglas County's home for sports, CBS Sports Radio, 1490 The Score.